Hello, chat. Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome in to the cast Q&A. Shall we say hi? Should we say hi? You get shitty camera quality. Are you ready? Are you ready for the bad camera quality? Boop. OMG. It's me. I'm blurry. It's because I'm a blown up picture on Discord. But hello, chat. Welcome in, everybody. You get me slightly blurry. It's fine. Quality. Such quality I am. Oh yeah. But we are here doing the cast Q&A, guys. We're doing the cast Q&A today. I'm so excited. Fit check. Yes, we can fit check. Boop, boop. We are wearing one of my merch shirts. OMG. Very Ray-coded fit today. And we got the Ray-coded cat ears today for the cat ear redeem. And you guys just get free shepherd time for like maybe this entire stream if he continues to sleep on Daniel's lap. It's pretty great. So everybody, are you ready to go over and see everyone? You ready to say hi? Are you ready to come say hi?
Because
hello, everyone. Are you ready for them to say hello?
Hello.
Okay, wait. I will switch over. Boop.
Hi. Sherbet's not ready, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, Sherbet's not ready, but psh.
We just watched your silent fit check.
10 minutes. I told you guys. Also, why did Sherbet leave their beanie redeem on when they have to put on cat ears later?
They're silly. They're silly and goofy.
Sherbet, you
look at you.
They're here.
Look at that timing.
Sherbet,
I was like, I want to beat Hey.
why do you have
you
cat
didn't.
beanie redeem on when there's going to be a wheel of cat ears?
Because I can wear a little hat. What if I want a little hat?
Do not separate them.
Okay, wait. Before we get into things, let me just real quick point out. I drew our lovely little guy this time. Please look at in the corners. I like the corners. Fable stabbed with a he is stabbed with a trident. There's a trident through him in this.
It's really
going down there.
Then the moms down there
They get
being
on
gay.
fire.
But I like the whole set. You got so many people in this squad. It's wonderful.
You guys are
Very
also getting
tiny
Shepherd
fan.
Cam today.
You are getting Shepherd Cam. Look at
we
this.
get it. So we get it all the time in meetings. Whenever there's like a meeting that the cast is in, Daniel always gives us cat cam. But this is the first time you guys get it too.
Cat cam.
It's wonderful.
I do love very tiny Thea.
Also, if I
in
point
this
out, Jamie's
picture.
here with me.
Yeah.
Jamie's in
Jamie.
Australia.
OMG. Look, we got a
They
cat
got
cam and a Jamie
Jamie.
cam.
The cat and the bear together at last.
OMG. Okay, so welcome in, everybody. I guess we should start out with a quick little intros.
preface. Yeah.
OMG. Yeah, oh wait, yeah, I should do the spiel. Okay,
We should
quick
do the spiel.
Spiel
Yeah.
first. Hello, everyone. We are going to be doing the cast Q&A. I already said that part. I'm going to be asking questions as well as Sherbert.
Yeah.
Sherbert going to help me ask questions this time. And you can still submit questions on the forum or on Twitter or on Tumblr. We will also be looking. We have a hashtag fablesmp QnA. Use that and it will find your things. We have a bunch that we picked out from the forum already, so we're starting there, and then we get bonus questions potentially if we have time.
We
So
see
we're gonna
some really good ones.
See,
We can grab
yeah,
them.
we're gonna snatch them if we see really good guys. Tee. With that, I think.
That's
the
of it.
spiel,
Yeah,
right?
That's the spiel.
Oh, right. There's also a cat ears redeem. On my stream, there's a redeem for cat ears. If you spin the cat ears wheel, we will spin and see who gets cat eared.
You mean
It should be turned on. Yes.
Somebody already redeemed it. I did spin already.
Who's wearing cat ears
Who
then?
is it?
Well, it is. Well, this is why I asked a question in the pre-stream VC text because it is Daniel.
Hold on. We got this.
Are
You
you
gotta
gonna
put just Shepherd on your head.
Just set the cat ears on him.
Yeah.
So barriers on the cat. Here we go.
Wondrous.
Those are my Jamie barriers.
The cat is wearing a set of ears, so I think we've met the criteria.
We've met the criterion. Perfect.
Are we doing it so that if it lands on the same person another time, they get to take the cat ears off?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Fantastic.
With that, I think our starting bit is to do little introductions before you get to ask the first question. I see you. I see you ready. You're so ready for your job.
I've got my questions ready.
I know.
I've got my Q's and my A's.
But we are first gonna quick say your name, your pronouns, your character name, and your character pronouns. Starting with the Artful of Renegades.
I am Art. My pronouns are they, them. I play Fenris or Wolf, and his pronouns are he, they.
Hello, I'm Athena. I use any pronouns. And also, my character's name, get this, is Athena, and they also use any pronouns.
Shockwell.
Crazy.
Connor.
Hi, I'm Connor. I use he/him pronouns, and I play Ulysses, who I think uses he/them pronouns. It's been a while.
So throw a they in there as a treat.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I use they them pronouns, and I play Jamie or Bruin, who uses he they pronouns.
Yeah. Ghosty.
Oh, it's me. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I was messing with the wheel. Hi, I'm Ghosty. I use he/him pronouns. I play Caspian, also formerly Ghosty, who also uses he/him pronouns. Crazy, I know.
Woo. I'm Hey. I use they any pronouns, and I play Ray, and he uses he/him pronouns. Woo. Also, sometimes Endirian, who uses she, her, they, she/they pronouns. I knew that.
This is Shepherd,
Daniel.
but I am Daniel, also known as Hazeband or Green DM. My pronouns are he, him, and I played Fable, God of Creation, who did have pronouns, and they were he, him.
Now his pronouns are has been.
Yeah. What are Shepherd's
Hotel.
pronouns, just so that everybody knows? So that they
Shepherd's
know.
pronouns? Did you just ask my cat's pronouns?
Yes.
He, him, but he
him.
hasn't
Okay.
properly communicated them.
Okay.
Oh boy. Hello, I'm Beck, and I played Arasana, and we both use she/they pronouns to make my life easier.
Nice.
Hello, I am Sherb. I use they them pronouns, and I play Icarus, who uses they them, but maybe with a little he sprinkled in there on occasion.
As a treat.
As a treat.
I'm Strawberry or Mambu or whatever you want to call me. And I play Mambu on Fable. And we both use she/they pronouns. LOL.
Hi, I'm Ven. I use he/they pronouns, and I played Ven, who also uses he/they pronouns.
That's crazy,
Shockwell.
man.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Swipin or Emma. I use she, her, and I played Easton, who used they, them.
Woo!
I'm
Poggers.
saying
And that's all the
instead of play
guys.
makes me so sad.
Are we
Okay.
ready
Yeah.
to get into this? So we have a good little bit of questions prepared from questions you guys have submitted on the form. And we're going to start off in alphabetical order. Most of the questions are going to be answered by everyone, but some of them are only going to be a couple people. But first off, the first question is, what were some of your inspirations for your characters, starting with Art?
Hi, if you see me eating, it's cotton candy. Don't worry about me, okay? You let me try. I don't want no comments. Anyway, I've talked about this before, but Fenris was made before Fable, where he was just Wolf. And then when I joined, I was pitched like, what if your Blooper was in here? And I went, perfect, he's already done. And his like inspiration visually was very much Hal Pendragon, and then I replaced the cool coat with fur, and then I put a mask on him because I like wolves a lot, and I want to be kind of a hybrid. So I was like, of all the mobs, I don't want to be a wolf. It was gonna be a bat. The wolves won, and I think that's cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty much inspiration for that, and then he just kind of built into Fable as I moved in. But visually, that's how he cooked.
Good.
Athena?
Yeah, some of the inspirations for my character was basically just like every character that brought me comfort as a child. All of those like happy-go-lucky, sunshine, power of friendship kind of characters. And like I knew going in that there was gonna be some like kind of more like serious topics talked about on Fable. Like we kind of knew that there was gonna be some like more like heavy stuff. Like it wasn't gonna be like a happy-go-lucky story, but I wanted to. Because this happens a lot in media, where they take a character and then they put them in a grimdark setting and then they break. And I wanted to see if, like, I wanted to show the fact that sometimes, you know, you put them in a bad setting, but a happy-go-lucky character can still be happy-go-lucky. Like, obviously they're going to learn some lessons and stuff like that. But I wanted to, this is basically my middle finger to the grimdark genre as a whole. If you like grimdark, that's great for you. I hate it. This was my thing of, like, we don't have people are starting to hate on power of friendship stories, and I think that they're beautiful no matter what. So that was why I did that. So, yeah.
Connor.
I feel like Ulysses, I've probably talked about inspirations and it's a little bit obvious, but he's very Odysseus coded and he's very Frankenstein coded. And I sort of smushed those two together and was like, what kind of person is that if you give Odysseus the power to create life? And vocally, he's very inspired by Kermit the Frog, which I didn't realize until recently, but I was listening to the way that I talk when I do the Ulysses voice, and that speech pattern is directly lifted from Kermit the Frog.
What?
I just think, hold on. All of us lost our mind.
Hang on.
Hold on, Connor. We've been friends for how long, and this is new information for me.
The way that I talked with Ulysses, he's very like around here kind of vibe, and I don't really know what he's saying most of the time. So sometimes I listen back to Ulysses.
Experiments on the fish. Now,
I need someone now to animate Ulysses doing the
God, boy, we all lost it.
Wow.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's the answer. Odysseus, Frankenstein, and Kermit the Frog. I put them in a blender and you get Ulysses.
Wow.
And you get just about
Oh,
the
also
color.
he became more Herodotus. Sorry. He became Herodotus towards the end.
Of course. Gotta
Of
include
course.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He actually shifted over
Wait.
to Alamo territory if you squint.
We move forward. I don't know how many you're wanting to answer, Jamie, but we continue.
Jamie can just raise their hand.
Jamie will pop it, yeah.
You can just raise your hand when you would like, I think.
Yeah.
Jamie just woke up, so Jamie
Yeah,
has
okay,
passed.
just
Again,
let
just
everyone
like me
know,
and the cotton candy.
We're
Leave
very
Jamie
sleepy.
Oh, Australians. All right, Ghosty.
I am Ghosty.
Oh, wait, did we get a cat redeem?
Yes, we did. Mambu, I would like you to put on some cat ears, please.
Glorious.
Or any
They're
the
not cat,
ears
they're
of the
goat
fur
ears.
variety.
Aww,
They're very
Tori,
cute.
little goat.
Anyways,
Put these on better.
Hello, cows.
thank you. My inspiration, initially when I was first like creating Caspian and designing him, a lot of inspiration came from Jam from Treasure Planet, because listen, he's trans mass coded, okay?
He's good.
He is.
So look at all of the trans mass coded characters, and I just grabbed them. I just took them, and then I put them in a little bucket, and I stirred it all together, and then I muted my mic is what I did. I also just projected so much onto this boy, and that is it. That's the bit.
So real of
Yeah.
you.
Uh, So, I'm gonna cheat and say, I can't think of like medias that I like really took from for Ray. Something I did take from Ray was fan content. This is a shout out to Arlo for the reason Ray has a tail. Arlo's art kept giving him this, like, people kept giving him tails. And then there was like an art piece of Arlo's when I was considering giving Ray a tail, and I was like, and we're sold. That. I want that. Fan content. Fan art, and then like fanfics that hit like really good things that I would like send to people and be like, I like this a lot. I want to include it. I want to include it real bad. So, fan content. I steal you and I make you canon. Yep.
Yeah. Daniel, do you have insight?
I will rotate my camera up whenever I must speak. For Fable, a used car salesman is pretty good. But in all seriousness, Fable was a pretty collective effort. I mean, he's inspired from many places. Many other people wrote scripts for him, dialogue for him. I only came in to like voice him and edit dialogue at times. But my inspiration for that one part of editing his dialogue and voicing him on stream is my own father, which I don't have a very good relationship with. He's very charming when you speak to him, and he always knows what to say. But when you step back and look at the whole of his actions, you realize he's done little for anyone but himself. So that's where I drew a lot of inspiration. And my father is known for his radio voice and his charisma in that vocal way. So I tried to bring that to the character. But Sherbert, if you have anything to add, because you kind of did a lot more of the bass for Fable.
No, Fable was meant to be like an unassuming. At first, but very like if you actually look at him for a long time, you go, hey, maybe he's not doing so great.
Listen, perhaps when his visual design was coming together, I was a little too deep in the Magnus archives, and maybe there's a little bit of Elias Bouchard in there, but we don't need to talk about it.
All right, Bear.
Yeah. So my inspiration for Ari came from when like on the very first time that I got pulled in with Sherb and Hey Hey when we were talking about like when they were like, hey, you want to join Fable? And I was like, yes, I would like to do that. And they were telling me the whole story and they were listing like all these gods and they're like, and yeah, there's a god who made allies. And I can I swear? I love allies.
Go for it.
I fucking love allies. There we go. They're my favorite mob in the game. So I was immediately like when you guys were like, if you have any ideas, I was like, hey, that god who like made allies, is that available to like take for any? So it was a bit of that, and it was also one thing I don't think I've talked about is her design was based off of the idea of the Minecraft Dungeons allies, how there's 2 of them, and one of them is gold. So I was kind of combining, that's where the gold and blue came from, because I was like, there's gold ones, and no one ever talks about that because it's not in the base game. So that, and then the biggest media thing that I took from was not really for Ari as a whole, but for Vexed Ari. Jinx Arcane, I love you so much, and I wanted to like take a little bit of like that specifically when looking at her relationship with her shitty not father.
Yeah.
So yeah. I love allies. Minecraft Dungeons has 2 allies, and I love Jinx Arcane. So
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Amulet, for the gifted
me
subs.
And Icarus. A lot of my like decisions for character Icarus were based on music that I listened to. I base a lot of like my characters off of songs. Like if I find a song and then they add a little tidbit in there, I'm like, what if I did add that tidbit though? Like that seems fun. Also a good little bit of like projecting and my own interests when I was a kid. Like I've talked about this before, but I was like obsessed with the Skyrim potion system, and I was like, I want a character where I can go sicko mode and write this like weird potion world for Fable and go like sicko mode on that. And then also my my love for multiverses. I eat them up. Not even anyone in particular. Just the idea is like so tasty to me, and I said, what if I went ham? And that was a lot of Icarus. Mambu?
It's me. Would you believe that I'm gonna talk about One Shot again? So for those who don't know, my favorite little video game is One Shot, and a lot of the inspiration for character Mambu came from that game because it holds a very close spot in my heart, and it's very, very near and dear to me. I cried while playing it like 3 times. And so immediately when we started making an SMP, I knew that I wanted to make a character that was kind of an amalgamation of stuff from it. And then also, just at the time that we started doing Fable, I was really in cottagecore era, and I was like, she gotta be a plant lady. It's important to me. So yeah, that was like the big parts of it. I just really liked the idea of making a character that was an extension of the world and like the world's emotions and stuff, because I feel like that's cool and I feel like it's neat. So yeah, the mom stuff came later.
Also, I think we got a cat. We got a cat ear.
We did. Hey, I'd like you to put on some cat ears.
OMG! Yay!
All right, Ven.
Yes. Okay. Character Ven was kind of, I came into Fable, was given the rundown of everything that the major gods had like done, and I looked at Fable and went, who's doing something with that guy? Because I think I can come in here and twist this into something that is very cool. Because at the time I was hyperfixating on the idea of like history being written by the victor and who does that. So that's where Ven came in. From there, he also became kind of a discussion for all of the grief that I was processing at the time, which is very fun to write into things. And if I had to like pick a character that like from the base I kind of took bits from, it would have to be like Hunter from the Owl House. I looked at his naivety and lack of ability to realize how much he was being used, and I was like, I'm gonna take that and put it over here. The other thing that I did kind of take a little bit of inspiration on once I knew about it, because I was doing it unconsciously, was that I finally listened to the Magnus Archives and realized how because Fable is so Elias Bouchard coded in the scary boss kind of way, I looked at his employee, Jonathan Sims, and I went, oh, that is Ven. That's so him. So that kind of got worked in once I'd listened to the Magnus Archives and through season 3. But yeah.
Swip.
Okay, so I have a new obsession every week, right? And at the time, I had a really big Daredevil obsession, obviously, if you couldn't tell. And so I was like, what if I made Easton blind? And I did. And I don't regret it, and I love it, and I love Daredevil, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much.
No, but like, you should though.
Oh, can you hear the airplane? Do you guys like my airplane sounds?
I do like the airplane
do.
sound.
I'm so sorry.
Shepard can hear it.
Oh, Shepard was like, what was that? Okay, then I guess it's our time for our second question, yeah?
Yeah.
OMG. Okay, cool. So,
I go first.
question number 2 is, what was your favorite lore stream to be a part of? And we're starting off with Athena.
So obviously, my favorite overall has got to be the finale. Like, it was really cool to have everybody together for like one big stream. But if I have to talk like favorite other than the finale, it's got to be. I was struggling with the question a little bit, but I think it's got to be the first Nether stream trip. I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called, but when I don't know, I think just the vibes of Ray, Athena, Wolf, and also just like the cool exploration into my own culture that I had inputted into Fable SMP. I just thought it was really sweet and really fun, and I really enjoyed that stream. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Connor.
I really love the stream. I Know What You Did, the one where Ulysses and Axe get to learn about their past, just the way that all of the cutscenes came together and the effort that Meta and I put into that for so long, and then getting to have it all like come to fruition and have the really nice emotional moment between the two. I hold it in my hands and I like it a lot.
Ghosty.
This was a really tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie. This is always probably gonna be my answer. Is in season 2. Gay reuniting, because that was also a birthday stream for me, and me and Hey were both just like so sad because Caspian didn't remember Ray, but Ray remembered Caspian, and it was a time, and just the pure amount of raw emotion that I experienced during that goddamn stream. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I like that. That's good.
It was-
For me, if it's like silly fun ones, I really liked Will Not Fake. I had such a fun time in Will Not Fake, just like genuine, goofy, silly time. Really enjoyed that one. Was just very like fun afterwards. I like a lot of the group event ones like that. Those were just really fun. In terms of one that I'm just like, wow, this was really cool. I'm really torn between Sonnet of a Heartless Wolf and Stuck in His Head. Because I love both of those so much, because the cutscene art I did for Sonnet of a Heartless Wolf and just the whole premise of that one is really cool. And then Stuck in His Head is... I didn't stream it. I didn't stream it, but I basically played the DM for everyone else. And it was stressful as hell, but it was cool. So I liked it a lot. Daniel.
So I'll throw on that, obviously the finale for me, but I also would say Festival of Lights. That was a really wonderful time for me, and I got to show Fable as like what could have been. Like if he didn't have so much ambition, if he actually just focused on his family, what the dynamic could have flown, like been a part of. And with that stream, I really like how it ties into the rest of Fable with the statement of like, it's easy to be good on a good day. And I really wanted to imbue that in Fable for that stream to show why Icarus in particular is going to struggle when Fable is the villain, because Icarus actually has good memories with Fable, and that is like really hard to get over to be able to come to the conclusion that they are the villain. So I really like that because it shows that Fable can be good, but he always talks about good things in that stream, but he never really like does good actions after it. He never follows through with the things he might have promised.
Beck.
Yeah. So I also was like flipping through my lore playlist being like, how do I choose? But I think my favorite serious one is probably Athena's birthday picnic. Because that's where I got kidnapped. And so Athena was like, oh, that's so sweet. And it was like, that's where I got kidnapped. But because I think the kidnapping thing and the Vexed arc was like the first really big thing that I pitched for Ari that was like totally pitched by myself. Because like the Saraza thing, obviously I was coming into that and she already had lore behind her and I was working with everybody and that was really cool. But like the vexing thing was the first thing that was like, this is mine. I hold this in my little hands. I wrote this. And I was also really proud of that cutscene, and that cutscene was really fun too because I got to work with Art and Hey because I ran to them in a panic, like I don't think I'm gonna finish this in time. Please help me. So it was the first big thing. Also, the picnic itself was just a lot of fun beforehand. But that was my favorite serious one. My favorite silly one is A Debt Owed, because I was laughing the entire time we were building that cat cafe, and Fenris was just so angry, and we also got Howl that stream, so that stream, it's my favorite silly one.
Good content. Sherburb.
To talk about like specifically season 3, I think the cool one that I really enjoyed was Unlocked, because point A, Icarus name drop, which I'd been sitting on for a really long time, and it was the first time I ever tried to put my own art into a cutscene, and I was very nervous, but it was really, really cool to see, and also just like a really big moment. That was the first time we used the like glitch like plugin that we had on my feet, which is just so cool that we got custom coded for us. But in terms of silly, the drinking stream. The drinking stream was very fun because I remember how spooked you guys got when we switched to live action. And I love doing that. I love taking like live action and putting it into silly Minecraft lore and making it more real. And that whole stream is just Centros and I just messing around for like an hour and a half, and it's great.
Wonderful. Ghosty, cat someone.
Well, if somebody would look in their chat, they would see that I put an announcement in their chat saying that somebody should put on some cat ears. Sugar.
I'm going. I'm going.
Mambu.
Would you believe that I'm gonna say Raging Storm?
OMG, no way!
Like, crazy. But no, just in general, I feel like it's just such a polished stream. Like, obviously, like, we've had polished streams since, but, like, it was, like, one of the streams early on that, like, just made me go, ooh, this is good writing. Because it was just, there was, like, it was the talk with Hey Hey before of us being like, oh, they're gonna reconcile this stream, they're gonna talk about stuff, and we went, no, they're not gonna do that, actually.
They ain't ready for that yet.
We're gonna completely change the entire thing, and it ended up just working so well, and it was so good. As for this season, I really liked doing the first episode of this season because it was on my birthday. And it was me finally getting to show the room and everything that I built because I care about Mambu erasing her memories a lot. And then also just me dying because I'm based on that too.
Womp
Womp womp, I die. Because I'd been planning on Mambu dying for like a really, really long time, so that was so nice to get done. But yeah, that's it from me.
Man.
I also think me dying was incredibly basic too. In fact, one of my favorite streams to run, just because I'm so surprised that we didn't have any like outlying mistakes. Like I'm so used to something going on, but somehow we managed to plan it and work so smoothly. Was Grave Mistakes. It was really fun to like work on and finally have that reveal because we had like I had held that back for a very long time. So that was probably my favorite lore bit to like put out and favorite lore to stream. But if I had to pick something silly, Ven rarely got to have silly moments, so it would have to like be between making cat scratch records, which wasn't a thing that I streamed, but I enjoyed it, or just anything coworkers related. I did enjoy going to the end and getting bullied by God. That was really fun.
It's so silly.
But that vein of I enjoy the coworkers, and all of my favorite streams involve one of the coworkers in some way. So those ones.
Yeah. Swip. Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe
sorry,
Swip.
my mic was muted. Let's see. I'm conceited, and I really liked the Till Death Do Us Part 2, because apparently I stole the stream title without knowing.
So silly.
Because I was playing Rakai, and I just love how I play them, because I mean, it's like silly. It's silly, and I love it. I love being silly. I mean, I'm silly pretty much all the time, but like I'm extra silly when I got to play Rakai. So I don't know, I just think it was fun, and then everybody else's acting was just so good, and I just really loved it.
And art.
It loops back around full circle. My favorite silly one is Pup Cups and Paperbacks, because that was one of the most delightful silly streams I've ever done. It wasn't planned or any type of like we set out to do something. It was just good content and funny. And then I think the more favorite, slightly serious one is either Expression, where Malate and Fenris talked for a good long time, and we got to see all the cool artworks and things. And Keep From Falling, which was the day before the birthday party with Fenris and Arasana, which was us really driving home the sibling things. And I said a lot of really good lines in there that were tragic as fuck, considering we were tearing them apart.
Oh
Good
man,
content.
you killed me on that one. You killed me that day.
Heart.
Sherburb.
Yeah, okay. So next question, we have a couple people who are going to answer it, but did you guys have the story finished before you started the SMP? Did you already know how it was going to end at the beginning of season 1? I think it's starting off with art.
Ah. See, now, I wasn't here for season 1, so that's why I'm silly. But for my Blorbo specifically, from the day he came in, no. I had no idea he'd be a god. I had no idea he'd have, like, 3 partners. I had no idea he'd have a sibling. I thought he was probably gonna maybe have, like, a tragic ending. Just, like, bittersweet in some way. Did not think any part of that was in there. All I had was just, like, a few little tidbits coming in. But really, I think it's funky because I think the world shaped Fenris. And I've like talked about this a lot. Like I had in my head a certain way he was gonna act and be when he came into like being, came into himself. And I've had like talks with this with Hey of like I thought he was gonna be so much more serious, so much more like Geralt from The Witcher vibes, but the world around him was just too kind for the people that he was with for him to be that way.
What?
And that kindness.
Where did you get
Ghosty.
this from?
Ghosty, you're unmuted.
What?
Ghosty?
Ghosty.
There
Hi,
you go.
Ghosty's really shocked.
Sorry, I just got this. It's my birthday present. I didn't expect this. Sorry.
I have him as well.
I thought I was muted. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
But yeah.
All right, continue.
I lost it. I'm good. That's that.
Okay,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
basically didn't know.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
It's a good guy.
Birthday mom.
I will say we tried really hard to have like the endings written when we first started. Like one of the things I've talked about in the past QnAs is like when Haley and I were bringing on people's characters, the first thing we asked them was, where do you want your character to end? And that moderately stuck through, but a lot of it evolved. Like I always knew where Sherbert was gonna end, because I don't think they deserve. I don't like happy endings for my guys. I think that's lame. And yeah, we tried to write things, but some things very much evolved like naturally. One of my favorite things that happened behind the scenes was when we were talking. I think it was first when Art was like, "Hey, maybe I want my guy to be a god," and Connor pitched, "Hey, what if for like the rest of season 3, it is the story of how all of the characters ascended to godhood. It's the Fable SMP is the story of the next pantheon, and that's like the old gods and the new."
One
and
might say it's the fable of anyway. I'll see myself
how all
out.
the gods came about, and I was like, oh yeah, that was sick, and that changed a lot of people's endings, and I think it's beautiful what that turned into. Yeah. And then I think Ghosty had something for this one.
I did. So for Caspian, I had no plans. I had literally 0 plans. When I joined the SMP, y'all were like, here's the story of the Lady of the World. Would you like to have your character be the writer of this? And I said, yes, I would. Thank you. I'm going to make you all very depressed now. That was it. And other than that, I'm like, he's just a guy. He's everything. I just kind of wung it. And I think even if you don't plan out everything, you can still get really interesting character stories. And same thing if you do plan things out. It totally just depends on how you go about telling that story.
Yeah. I like the variety we had in like plans versus not plans. I think that's really cool.
That's why I put my name down, because I'm like, I had no plan. There was nothing.
Okay. Our next one is also a like volunteers, a couple people gonna answer for us. So, what piece of day one lore were you most excited to reveal? So kind of what plan you had from the get-go were you really excited to reveal? We'll start it with Athena.
So, I was really, again, I wanted to like put Athena through as many things that could maybe break them, but didn't in the end. And the thing that I was really excited about from like early on was wither sickness, because as soon as we realized that we wanted Soul to be like the wither, I was like, hot take, mother son moment. What if I am also on my deathbed because of the same thing? And I was like, holding on to that one for a really long time, and I was really excited. And also, it's like a really interesting way for me to display chronic illness that I deal with every day, because I deal with a lot of chronic pain. And so, I was just really, really excited for that one. That one was kind of my favorite, I think.
Ghosty,
Also,
would you like to
I'm-
cat someone? Oh,
I may have stolen a little bit from Rapunzel, and I was like, "What if magic flower heal everything?"
so true. Ghosty, can you please cat someone?
Yeah, while we're at it, Athena, can you put on some cat ears?
And then Mumbu.
It's me. So from like really early on, I knew that Mambu was gonna be an extension of the world, and I knew that she was gonna die somehow. I didn't know exactly how she was gonna die from the very beginning. But I knew that I wanted her to be an extension of the world, and I was really, really excited no matter what to like reveal that. And then along the way we got Oshi, and then we had an extension of the ocean. We had that as another thing, which was really cool. And just like over time, like revealing more and more of her story, and then having details stack on top of it that ended up making it more fleshed out. Like, oh, she's remembering every reset. Oh, she has been erasing her memories every reset. Oh, there's like more and more and more and more, and I just really liked like her story, like not having like a big reveal, but like over time, like details coming into light, if that makes any sense. But yeah, heart emoji.
Yeah.
Mambu heart emoji.
Mambu heart emoji. And our other one for this one, Ven.
Yeah. Also about death. Ven's death was written from the beginning, because it had always been a thing of Fable was a bit of a bad person, guys. I don't know if you noticed. One of the things I enjoyed about having it written in was that whilst the death had been written, because the first thing I did for Ben was write his timeline in the spot where he's supposed to be in the timeline. And then he gets brought forward and he does all the other Fable stuff, but the first thing we had to solidify was what he was doing in the past. And so I solidified that pretty quickly and was like, this is how he died, this is when he died, this is everything. And then getting to reveal that was the most fun ever, because initially I didn't know how I was going to do it. Doing it via grave was not something I had thought of doing until a cast meeting in November, I think. And then I think Ushi said it, or someone in the meeting said it. I cannot remember for the life of me. And I was like, I'm gonna write that down. And then it slowly like became what it became. But I liked writing my own death. It was great. That's all.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then the next question for the whole group is, what's your favorite thing about all of the fan content and engagement that you see? And when did Fable become real for you? And we will start with Connor.
Sorry, I had mute.
A jump scared.
I kind of have. Yeah, the Fable becoming real was interesting from my perspective because I kind of entered Fable like from the fandom side of things. So in my brain, it was like already an established real thing that I was then kind of slotted into. But in terms of like favorite fan content thing, sort of watching the fandom space for a long time, I really love getting to see like people's skills within the fandom grow. Like I've seen like artists get better over time and see people's writing improve over time, and like getting to see that because of a project that I was a part of is really sweet and really cool to see people learn skills because of Fable.
Yeah. I really wanted you to just go, Brink.
Great. I like the thing that I did.
Not biased or anything, but
listen.
Ghosty.
A lot of the same thing that Connor said is actually what I had written down, is seeing like how fans grow as like artists, cosplayers, etc. It's just like, especially because this has been going on for 3 years, like getting to see that is really incredible. And also I think when fans come up with like AUs and we're like, oh, that's tasty, and then like we go and cosplay it, I think it's a really fun little tiny back and forth thing. And I think the moment that Fable kind of like did become real for me is when I saw the first person cosplay Caspian, and I was like, oh, this is okay. So this is real now. This is a thing. Okay, but yeah.
Mine, seeing the fan work, I love seeing the bounce back and forth between the fan work, fan stuff. The fan engagement side, doing the notes streams made me confident in my ability to stream solo lore, which was something I was really nervous about when I first kind of started doing notes streams. I was always very scared about doing something like without someone else to bounce off of, but then ended up having chat to bounce off of, and I really liked that. I thought it was really cool. And like as like a recent one that jump scared me again with like another moment of like, oh my god, a fandom. As Ray now has a Ray Morningstar needs a hug tag on AO3, and that tag is my favorite thing for characters that I love. I love characters X needs a hug tags. I love them so much because they give the hurt comfort like fix, and Ray got a tag and I was like, yeah, my boy. So yeah, that's mine.
Daniel.
Hello. So I'm gonna combine my favorite fan content and when did Fable become real? And funnily, it's not even of a Fable drawing, but at TwitchCon 2022, me and Haley were dressed as Filza. Well, Haley was dressed as Filza with full wings and a hat, and I was Ghostbur. Don't quote me on that. I know nothing about Dream SMP. Anyway, one of Haley's fans saw us and asked to draw us, and we said yes. And it's a fast little sketch, but it depicts Haley as Filza smiling and me looking at them being awestruck by how cute they are. And I really hold it close to my heart because it symbolizes to me that no matter how much Haley succeeds in cosplay or Twitch or all their wonderful creative pursuits, and I can't match any of that stuff in quality or output, I still can be there and I can still be happy with them. So I just want to say thank you to Rose Just Be Here for making that. It's my favorite piece of fan art, and I wish we had paid for it.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
That was so sweet.
What the fuck?
Anyway, back to Cat Cam.
Well, I feel weird going after something so sappy and sweet because I don't know how I'm gonna follow that. No, I'll tell you how I'm gonna follow that. I love y'all's memes. I really like. It's my favorite part of any fandom is getting to be a part of a million stupid little inside jokes and watching people make the silliest jokes ever and just laughing my ass off at these dumb little jokes, and knowing if I show them to, like, I don't know, one of my friends who doesn't watch Fable, they'll be like, I don't know what this says, but we do, and that's the fun part. But no, I really like that in fan engagement, and I think when Fable became real for me, kind of like Connor, it was always real, but I think the big thing was I was very nervous about coming in as a season 3 person, especially since I knew you guys said it was the last season, and I was very worried because I loved my character, but I was a little bit afraid that I was just going to be kind of, oh, that's a new season 3 person, we can just set them aside, they're not going to matter because they're only going to be here for one season. So seeing how much people really liked Arasana, and like kind of like Ghosty, the first cosplay of her made me go, holy shit. And there's one fan art that is my computer background, because somebody, I think their username was Amibue, Amibue. They made this gorgeous fan art of Saraza and Ari, and I was just sitting there like, oh my god, this is real, this is so cool. Also, when Eret voiced, I was like, holy fuck, this is so crazy. So yeah, those are mine.
Yeah.
We have a cat. Cat, please. Cat someone.
There's a cat boy.
I didn't even realize.
Cat
Oh, it
someone.
just happened, that's why.
It did. I was jumping in real speedy like.
Mamba, you get to take them off.
Ah,
Go free.
Be free.
Freedom.
God.
For me, one of my favorite things that that I saw from the fans was all of the CMVs. I am such a film nerd, and I love making CMVs. And when I saw the first one, it was a season 1 Mambu CMV to Devil Doesn't Bargain. And I was like, oh my god! Oh my god, somebody made a CMV! And since then, there's been so many, and I love them. There was a recent one of Icarus and Quixis, and the whole time I was just nerding out over the camera and like the angles they were doing. I was like, yeah, that's my guys, but like, whoa, look at you go. And that was really cool. One of the things that made it like real for me was the first time, I think it was at Level Up Expo, that I met someone that was dressed as Sherbert, and I was like, oh my gosh. Because like I'd seen people on TikTok, but when I actually saw somebody there and was like, yeah, I came like to meet you in your cosplay, and I was like, oh my. And the other tiny silly one was when we got an official AO3 tag. That was insane. That was wild, the fact that we have like an official one. And I thought that was really cool. A Mambu.
It's me. So for me, I am a big nerd for like, I know that we kind of touched on this already, but like with AUs and stuff. So like I love seeing people write little funky little AUs. I think it's so fun, and like writing their headcanons too. I think those are so cool. The moment that Fable became real for me has to do with that. I remember that I liked seeing fan content. I would look at fan art, and I would always like, I wouldn't say anything, but I would look at it, and I would lurk and look at it. And I remember one that really stood out to me kind of early on was, this is a throwback. I remember the Brandfish superhero AU that they wrote forever ago. And that was like one of my favorite fanfics that I had read like really early on in Fable, because I really liked how they wrote everybody. I feel like the speech in it was like just so natural and everything. I feel like they captured everyone so when I was like, they're paying attention to us. They're perceiving how we act with each other, and it's really, really good. And wait, there's more people writing things like this, and it really hit me that like more people like were into it than I thought, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it is what it is.
Then
I don't know if there was like a specific moment in which it became real for me, because I feel like I was kind of eased into it because the fan space it existed before I showed up. But I think one of the moments that made it feel real was the AO3 tag, I think, because I lurk AO3 so much, and it's so strange that I can open my AO3 account and my favorite tags that are on the like home screen, I can just click on the Fable SMP one. That's crazy. It's a very weird concept to deal with. But I think one of the other things that made it real was I remember Connor coming up to me at a convention in Australia, and I had not been there on the Saturday of the convention. But Connor said, yeah, there was a sherbet yesterday. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? This was like 2022, I think.
I was gonna say that was before we like were friends as well. That was
Yeah.
pre me joining Fable. That was me just approaching Ven as a fan and being like, by the way, there was a Fable person here.
Which is funny because I'm friends with Connor's girlfriend before I was friends with Connor, but I was still like, come hang out with me, so we like hung out and stuff. But that being said to me is so strange. I was like, my brain didn't fully comprehend that. I was like, oh. That's right, cosplayers watch Fable too. I didn't even comprehend it, so I think that was the moment for me.
Yeah. Swip.
Yippee. I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon and also say that I love the little writings everybody writes, because it's just kind of crazy, because I used to be that kid, like growing up writing little fan fictions about the media I liked, and then so like being on the other side of that, it's just so cool. You know? It's just so cool to see and like to read it all. And I don't know. It's just fun. It's just fun and silly, and I love it.
Art?
I think the moment it became real was my stream Never Quite Alone, which is when I first got the Sparks. That was when the chat became real. So I think it was like 4 streams in, so it didn't feel real, those 4 streams going, and I was like, nah, this is just a fever dream. It's a really intense fever dream. And then actively engaging with you guys in character as chat was what was like, Oh my god, wait. They have little names. They're different colors. They've picked colors. Oh my god. And that was really neat and kind of solidified like an interaction between me and the sparks and things. And then I think favorite fan works. I love the writings. I love them so much, but I think the cosplays will have to be my favorite. Specifically of my little guy, because as someone who is black, is POC, if I liked my character, I have to be the one to cosplay them. It is very it's unfortunate, like truth of being in a minority in spaces like this, that typically your character isn't cosplayed. Typically you have to be the one to do it if you get any kind of like people, you know, trying to make some interpretation of your little blurbo, or you're cosplaying your favorite character because you gotta, you know, put your spin on it or something like that. So coming from a purely cosplay background and then going into like Minecraft stuff and then going into Fable, and people were like, no, I want to cosplay your guy. That was the most wild thing to me, and it still is, that people took the time out there to cosplay my little blurbo, because I honestly just didn't expect it. I went into it like, oh, it's fine, they don't got it. I'll do it. It's okay, I'll do it. But yeah, that's a cool thing. That's neat. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fan engagement things that I see all the time, because a lot of the time when I'm drawing or if I'm like working on something, I will absentmindedly be scrolling through TikTok on the side. Like, I'll just have my phone open to TikTok and I'll scroll. Seeing Fable edits is crazy, because some of them are so fantastic. I have like a folder and I keep them and I hold them and I send them to people, and I'm like, oh my god, look at this, your guy's in this. I love edits so much. I love when things are nicely timed to music. It's why Sherbert was like, watch Baby Driver, and I was like, oh my god, because like anytime that something is like neatly timed to music, it scratches my little neurodivergent brain real good. I love the edits. They are, never stop doing them. I watch them. If for nobody else, do them for me. But when Fable became real, okay, I'm gonna try really hard not to get emotional. Fable, so first I'll start off with my silly one of, yeah, AO3 tag, crazy, absolutely wild, because as somebody who consumes so much fanfiction, like an unhealthy, I read that stuff like it's the morning paper, okay? I can't start my day unless I have AO3. And having people write fics about my character that I made, insane. But like, the like unending amount of support that I got when I started streaming for Fable, because this was, I've never streamed before like Fable stuff, but the unending support that you guys gave when I started streaming was so like incredible, because like I always kind of had it in the back of my head. I was like, no, I'm just like that person who appears on other people's streams. I'm not a streamer, I'm not that guy. But then I was that guy, and I was like, oh my god, they like me. And so that was kind of when it really became solidified real for me. And also, I got really emotional when I was at Level Up with Sherbert and I saw an Athena cosplayer in person who came up to me and gave me a bunch of stuff, and I was like, and that was like the minute that I was like, oh my god, I'm a creator. That was the time for me.
Yeah. Okay, our next one is a volunteer little one. We got some people to do, what piece of improvised lore became your favorite part of canon? And we'll just bounce it straight back to Athena.
Okay, listen. The hybrid stuff. So I knew that I wanted Athena to be part ghast because of like early on stuff, but like Athena having the paws and the big ears and the tail and stuff like that, that was all you guys. And I just rolled with it. And then like the like little things of like, oh yeah, I could hear, because like sometimes when I wasn't streaming, I would just be on like muted listening in a VC for when it was my cue to like come in. And I would just be like, hey, I know, I heard. And it was just like the joke of Athena has big ears, so they hear everything. And then that became like a plot point of Athena can just hear stuff. And like it became like a thing, and it was just really funny that we got to roll with it. And like all of the little hybrid quirks that kept coming, those were really fun to improv.
Good. Before I go to Connor, Cat, a cast member, Ghosty.
Yes, hey, you get to take yours off.
Aw, tragic. Connor!
So I kind of have two. One of them is very brief. I love the way the Tuskleys developed, which was just all silly improv. Like on the day, it was just like I want to have a little telenovela family in the background. That was basically like when I came into Fable, I had 3 character ideas that I kind of pitched, and one of them I ended up kind of pulling apart the different Tuskleys.
So sorry.
You're good. But I love the religious aspect to Ulysses, and specifically the relationship between Ulysses and Lenarius, which was entirely improvised on the day. We did the stream where Ulysses went to like accidentally almost poison Oscar, and pretty much in the call, after, like as Oshi went off to stream, Athena and I were like, what if we did a little bit where Ulysses gets to yell and be angry at Lenarius? And we got there and we started improvising the scene, and there was just this moment of like, no, he can't yell. Like he breaks down and he gets emotional, and it was entirely improvised in the moment, and it honestly changed the entire trajectory of Ulysses, because that was kind of the defining moment where he went from someone who's going to be an irredeemable villain who died in the end to kind of where he is now, because there was this kind of improv moment of vulnerability that we got to do, and I love it, and their dynamic a lot.
Shout out to every time I do improv Lenlore with somebody and they're like, I'm gonna yell at you, and they're like, damn it, you're really sad actually. Let me break down and be your friend. That's happened multiple times actually.
My little one is actually similar. And it wasn't something I thought of until literally going back through the questions right before this, that I switched one of my volunteer slots to this question because I realized it and I had thoughts. The fight that Ven and Ray had at the start of season 3 was entirely on accident. It wasn't supposed to happen that stream. We knew it was probably gonna happen. It wasn't supposed to happen that stream. But I ran into Ven and I was like, shit. Time to fight. We're gonna be angry at each other. And
Time to be mean, I guess.
yeah, after that stream, I felt awful. I felt like horrid. I was like, oh my god, I hate how that went. I feel so bad. I just blah. But now looking back at it, it started such a big character moment for Ray in having to learn how to deal with anger and having to just like have a negative emotion and having to learn how to sit with a negative emotion like that, and having to figure out like that, letting that be part of his season 3 arc of Ray having outbursts of like punching Centros and like having to figure out, you know, trying so hard to not let the anger happen that was giving Icarus way too many free passes until finally the line was crossed. That was Jamie. Yeah. And fun fact, that change, that stream was not supposed to go that way. Similar to Raging Storms, Ray was supposed to go hang out with Icarus and try and give Icarus another shot, and like it was supposed to be like the like Icarus gets close and realizes that in the end they can maybe do the good thing. And instead it turned into like when I watched Jamie's death stream, I realized, oh no. Wait, that's the line that Ray would have issues with being crossed.
I may have done a little too much bad.
Yeah. And so that I rewrote that entire stream like a day before it happened. I drew an entire art piece about it, but it all started because of an improv fight with Ven. And that being an entire arc that I didn't know I was going to take him on, but I ended up having a really good time being brought on because I also am so bad at dealing with anger that it was a really interesting character thing to explore, letting that like shine through. So, yeah.
Still got the bird though. That was the one
you
thing
did still get the bird. You did still get a bird.
All right.
Okay. We got some short boys.
Yeah, I was gonna say the next 2 questions. I think we should do a little bit of a speed round.
Yeah.
Because this is some short answers. So the first question, is what would Vea call your character? And we'll start on Ghosty.
Some variation of Uncle Caspian. Probably Uncle Cass, because she probably can't say Caspian.
Mine, of course, would be Daddy. But that sounds weird. Since that one was already known,
You're just her dad.
I'm just the dad. I'll say real quick, the cute one that I put in recent canon fic, is Grandma Dirian, because she couldn't say Indirian's full name, just Dirian, just Grandma Dirian. I think is cute.
I don't think she's gonna call Fable anything. No one would let Fable near that child.
Yup.
Yeah.
As is our right. I think I've talked with Art about this. I think I'm Auntie Ari, I think, is mine.
Yeah. Nothing. No. I really like the headcanons of Vea referring to Magic Bird, of the bird that like flies around with Vea, and not knowing that they're calling Icarus, but go, the Magic Bird was out with me today. I like that a lot.
Oh!
But nothing.
It's like a little parallel shout out back to like Ray, people like assuming Ray has an imaginary friend when he was a kid, but it was actually a real dude, and it was Axe. And Vea having this imaginary friend who's a magic bird, but it's actually just Icarus. That's really cute.
Yep.
I was gonna either do Auntie Boo, or I also saw Cherry Blossom, and I was like, that could be kind of cute. But yeah, that's what I had.
Auntie Boo is so cute.
I don't think Faye would call Ben anything.
Dang it!
Every time you guys say this, it's tragic.
This question was meant to be cute, and now it's sad twice
guys.
over.
Oh.
No, I do think if Ven were around, I don't know how good Vea is at pronouncing her V, so I feel like it would turn into like an Uncle
I think she's
Ven
very good
to
because her name starts
Ben.
with a V.
Yeah, so
Well,
I
yeah,
think
it
it
does
should be
start with a
Ven.
V.
I don't think there's anything too fancy about what Ven would get called. Yeah.
I think Vea would probably just call Easton because Uncle is very millennial and uncool.
Real.
Vea tries, and Easton's like, no.
Easton rolls up like, you're not about to call me old.
Call me Easton, kids.
I'm dad. Papa is what I'll give a little fun thing that I think Fenris calls her pup, and I think sometimes calls her pup or Starshine, mostly pup, and then she could call him Wolfie sometimes is a bit. She like heard it from Jerry and was like, I'm gonna run with that, and he's just like cut that out, and she's just like, Wolfie. He's like, stop this madness. But he doesn't actually mind. It's same with Jerry.
Cool.
I think that Vea calls Athena Auntie Thena because I just think it's cute. Also, because I do technically play a couple characters, I think that she would call Len Uncle Len also because I just think that he would be present in her life. I care about that man so much.
Did you have an answer?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I feel like Uncle Ulysses, or I know that we joked about Grunkle Ulysses being
Uncle
a thing
Ulysses!
I also really like just Mr. Ulysses as like a callback to Little Axe. Calling him Mr. Ulysses.
Shut up!
I just think that'd be really cute. So I think Mr. Ulysses.
I had to get my Mabel Pine reference in there somehow. Okay, I have to
Oh.
call him Grunkle Ulysses.
Just to insert because he's not here, but I think definitely calls like Uncle Violet for Centros, and I had another one. Damn it! Fucking just left me.
Oh shit. Does anyone know?
No, Vikesh, just like Mr. Moon.
Oh, Mr. Moon!
Because I think that's funny.
actually.
Every
What
new
was
moon.
the
Sometimes.
Malate one?
I think that was written somewhere.
I have Mr. Malate.
Master Malate.
In the actual scrapbook is Mr. Malate, in
Mr.
which Bruin then
Malate.
comments, "Please tell me, for the love of God, that you actually called them that."
Yeah. So I think it's Mr. Moon and Mr. Malate.
That's so
That's
cute.
good.
I now need to see someone draw like Grunkle Stan scenes with Ulysses.
So we have Kermit the Frog and
Just
Grunkle
kidding.
Stan.
Let's break in.
Grunkle's head.
Listen, I did this for a reason because listen, Athena may be like, listen, I inspired Athena off of a lot. We went over this, a lot of characters that made me happy as a kid. both Mabel and Dipper are in there, and I just think that you could draw Athena with Grunkle Ulysses, and I think it would be really cute, and I think somebody should get on that. I'm not
I feel
saying
like
you have
Ulysses
to.
does embody the if there's no cops around, anything's legal.
Everything's legal. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Ulysses gave Athena a bottle of whiskey for their birthday. Like,
We're going to the next question. Speaking of whiskey, what Fable SMP food would you like to try? Oh, and I'm starting. So I'm starting, and I'm gonna say so many of the sweetberry treats. The sweetberry pound cake, like strawberry pound cake, is delicious. So I would like the sweetberry pound cake. The sweetberry pup cakes, please. Thank you.
I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna say all of them because I love boba, baked goods, curry, basically almost any food that's been put in front of me. So I'll probably try them all, even rotten flesh, if it is prepared well. But if I had to choose one, probably like a bed and breakfast baked good, like a good cinnamon roll, I would destroy.
Literally every time I had that Starbucks lemonade in my character's hand, I was like, damn, I need to get some lemonade. I need that lemonade in my soul.
Poba. I want Poba so bad. I know I made it, but like I want to try Glowberry Poba. That's just also me going, I want potions, but like I would eat that up. It's so hard.
I want a cake pop. I want to eat it in my mouth.
Anything drink related. I'm so curious as to what all of the alcohol would taste like, but also I'm such a anytime I go outside, I'm like, okay, I gotta stop by the bubble tea place. I gotta get boba. So there's that as well. So I'm so curious as to what all of them taste like actually in my brain. So that.
I don't know about y'all, but them Subway sandwiches were looking pretty damn good to me. Pretty damn good.
The one thing we didn't make a texture for ever.
Exactly.
It was built off stream.
It can be
so
anything you want. It
So
can be
true.
anything
Let
you
me
want.
live.
For me, absolutely the songbird bread. Bread's my favorite, like comfort food. That's really simple and really easy. And something about I don't get to have very like fresh baked bread like ever. I can't remember a time I've had it any time recently at all. So a nice warm loaf of fresh baked bread that is of round and soft variety. I want it. I want it so bad. It's my favorite thing I've ever made in Minecraft.
While we're here, can you put on some cat ears art?
Oh.
I have a deep personal need to eat all of the curry from the Nether. I love pork curry so much. The pork bowl, I fucking love pork bowls, man. I had one the other day. I want to try the crimson one. That sounds so good. I would like to eat that, actually. Actually, wait, really quick, fun fact about me eating too many pork bowls. When we were at TwitchCon, at the cafeteria, they would sell chicken bowls. And it was just, me and Daniel would go to the the little food area every single day. We would go there every day to wait for Hey and Sherbert and stuff, because me and Daniel would just be like, okay, you guys are in partner lounge, we're gonna go get a table, we'll go eat some food. And every single day, I would get the same thing. I would get the pork bowl every day, or the chicken bowl, and it was so good. And then I was like, what if I put it in Minecraft? That is where that came from.
Perfect.
I'm retroactively changing my answer because my original answer was the Blue Orchid tea, and then I remember that I have Blue Orchid tea because there is a Blue Orchid tea that people made. But also the curries. Curry is like a big comfort food for me, and I eat curry all the time, especially pork curries and beef curries and things like that, and they just look so delicious in Minecraft, and I want to eat them. All of the curries. Oh, sorry, I muted on Jamie.
I need sweetberry pie desperately. I know I need it. Like, I can imagine what it would taste like, and every time I had to pick a food item for my inventory, it was always sweetberry pie. I need it so bad.
It is why I handed you all of the sweetberry pies every time we were about to do lore.
Yes.
Glorious.
I'm gonna say the parfait. I loved it.
You took so many of them.
Oh yeah. Parfait, or just all of the alcohol. Maybe not the ones I don't like. Maybe not the
They sound
whiskey,
so
but
good.
No, I would love to try all of those wines. Those sound
I want to
so
drink.
good.
yeah.
I want to drink alcohol and then spontaneously start glowing. That's
Right?
cool as hell.
We were sitting here,
Wow.
and
Huh.
as we started talking about the alcohol, Jamie pointed out that one of the gifts that I got for my birthday is a bottle of whiskey that looks a lot like the bottle that we made for the game, and so that's why I had to mute, because I was like, I'll move that out of frame actually.
Next question is a couple of people. It is, what is your favorite what if AU? So like if Isla actually sent the letter, or if X stays in the prison instead of Y, etc. And we'll start with Hey.
I love the if Ulysses made it and went and raised Axe and Ray so much.
Also my answer.
No way. I never would have guessed you wrote an entire fic about it that I honestly have considered writing a continuation of from Ray's perspective.
Please
It is
do.
on my list of like little ficlets I want to write. Because my God, do I just want Fish Dad. And that, I think, Fish Dad instead of God Dad, please. I love it so much. I love it so much. That's my guy.
That's awesome.
I picked that question so that I could answer it.
I will talk about another AU then, which Meta and I have discussed for Ulysses and Axe, which is the Ulysses gets caught before he can free Axe. And it's an AU that we've talked about where Axe is raised by the facility as kind of a weapon, and then is later sent out to hunt down Ulysses. And we have so many fun concepts about it, like the idea of Axe like growing bigger artificially and being like this big, like large, lanky, like Ulm style creature, and it's such a fun contrast to have at the same time as writing and planning out sweet wholesome Ulysses makes it out and gets to raise Ray and like goes on the run with these kids, to like the absolute horror that is Axe raised
The
by
good
the
ending
facility.
and the bad ending.
Yeah, exactly.
Connor, I might need you to write that, homie.
I'm working on it. It's in the works. I think about it all the time.
And Mambu?
It's me. I remember like early on, like when we towards the end of season 1 when we had the corruption arc. This is going off of if X stays in prison instead of Y. Mambu staying in prison instead of Sherbert is my favorite AU. I think it's so good.
That is
Because
so
She got to be so spooky.
She got to be so spooky for the little bit that she was corrupted, like in that one part. I was like, dang, if she had stayed in the prison, things would be very different. Because number one, it would have been, early on, world being even more wacky. I feel like Enstone would have traveled faster. I feel like stuff would have just gotten accelerated a lot faster. Plus, I like playing villain characters, so that would have been really fun.
I feel like if she had been corrupted, instead of like a spike going through the tree of Endstone, it could have been like slowly turning into a chorus tree. That would have been really cool. Like stuff like that. That would be really neat. Wait, now I'm thinking about it.
And like, I feel like the implications of it would have been like, I like AUs where like it once change like makes things like have like such a lasting impact. I feel like that would have made such a big impact like even in later seasons, because I feel like the tree wouldn't have been able to be changed. Like I feel like it would have been Endstone for a really, really long time. And yeah, I just think it's neat.
I love it.
Hell yeah. Okay. We have another volunteer question one, but real quick, may I bring your attention to the way my cat is laying? This is one paw. Yeah, he's just raising his little hand.
I love him.
Oh, he's asleep.
This question, this one.
Oh, okay. I asked this one, right? Wait,
You
where am
do,
I?
yes,
Me
it's
asking.
you.
Okay, great. Okay, so how did the more unexpected dynamics develop? And shock wow, I'm not gonna let Sherbert go first. Art, you gonna go.
Unmutes. I just kind of opened my mouth and didn't make any noise until I unmuted. Anyway, I think it's really funky because just about all of like the bigger relationships for Fenris were in fact unexpected and not at all planned. I've talked about how Wolf Tross was not planned at all until these characters started interacting, and we were like, hold on. Hold on, these tragic men are gay. And we started developing into that of like this slow burn of these two kind of troubled men trying to trying to learn to be happy and to love. And then the contrast of Knighting Star, where we were like, these are just homies. Up until one day, we just said, no, they're not. That's not something you say to a homie. No. And then it was the rapid. They're already. We look back at everything and we're like, do we need to build this up? Not really. Everything they've said has been homoerotic. And that how these were two people who had already learned to love each other and had, since Fenris had come about and started helping with the warden and everything like that. So they didn't need to build up that love. They already had it. So it was just immediate. And then the funky one of sibling times, where I definitely didn't expect that to happen until me and Beck, I think it was like, I think it was when we started building like the gazebo, which was just going to be like a fun bit, and just how connected Wolf became specifically with Ari, of like this friendly face, this book club, this person kind of like pulling Ari out of the shell, and how funky of a parallel that was to Nevea of that being inverse, and how I think we realized that one of these characters is always meant to be a big sibling, the other one's always been a little sibling, and this relationship is turning that on their head, and we got really into it, and it was so interesting because it was not at all planned. And I love that most all of Fenris's like big like set in stone, this is what their relationship is, were not at all like planned out for like a good long while. Like me and Jamie did not plan for how close Fenris and Bruin would get, and then we were like, hold on, what about Ursa Major and Ursa Minor? And then we got really intense about it. So I eat it up that a lot of his stuff were really just built in naturally through improv, and definitely unexpected, but I love them.
All right, talk about your wet birds.
I'll talk with Ven whenever you want to cut in. But yeah, wet birds. Not at all planned. I think what's really funny was before it was like coworkers time, and before Fable was out, Ven and I were talking, and we were like, dang, we really need to make these guys friends. So like we did a stream where just the two of them are talking, like before Fable's released, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna make them friends. And then like 2 streams into coworkers, we were like,
this feels a little homoerotic.
This feels a little gay.
It was completely accidental because we were doing the Malate stream, and I delivered a couple of lines, and I was like, now wait a minute. I don't know if I said that too gay, but we'll see how it's like picked up by audience. And then I got on Tom, and the first thing I saw was, I don't know about you guys, but I think those two should kiss. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
we had like one conversation at the end of a coworker stream, and we didn't talk about it like after the stream, and then we both messaged each other and we're like, so that was like a little, and then we couldn't stop. Like every single time these two guys interacted, we were like, oh dang, maybe this is, maybe they're giving that.
Something gay. I would say something gay and go, shit, my bad. Okay, we're feeding into it.
Yeah. But no, absolutely not planned. And I think the Jackbox stream absolutely cemented that into the ground. We were like, this is a joke. And then we were like, maybe that's out there now. Have fun with it. I know you guys eat it up, so.
It's a really fun dynamic because it's inherently tragic in that those two are both the dead ones.
Yeah,
it's very upsetting.
It was really funny because our characters were like from the start tied to each other, like way before anything. We were close. We were like, oh yeah, Quixis is gonna glitch then into it, and then by the end we were like, and they were gay.
And they kissed.
It was really fun writing up epilogue because from the beginning, because of fun multiverse things that I'm not going to get into, from the beginning we had planned the hold on a second, do I know you line that was at the end of the epilogue, and that was meant to be just friends. But then we made it gay.
Yeah, I got a little gay.
A little bit more, and we were like, okay, well, it's there now. I guess you guys can have that if you want.
Yeah.
Final weeks of Fable were just suffering for just the wet bird community.
I loved
God.
I loved accidentally becoming the world's biggest third wheel.
Just
in the
God. Like Ari became a thing, but for that last 2 weeks, Ari was just standing there like, wow, I should not be in the room.
There's just gay people in front of me.
I gotta go.
And I can't go to the 4th person in the room because he's an asshole dictator.
I can't go back home. My brother's really gay. Where am I gonna go? And then Ari Boo happens, so it's okay.
Perfect.
Part Aribu.
Yeah, what birds wasn't planned.
Yeah. I will move on to the next question, which I'll say also a speed round, perhaps, is what's your favorite bloop? We ask this question every time for throughout all the seasons for anybody, and we'll start on Daniel. Do you have a bloop?
It's pretty obvious. I think anyone will immediately think of it. In the Cathedral of War, when I knocked Centros off a cliff, and it says, Fable doomed Centros to fall, and I was like,
so hard.
We were all like,
because we
everyone's
were all
like,
aware of what was about to happen at the end of that stream, and we were like,
yeah, that was
see,
pretty
like my stare and being like,
yes, that was great. The
Put
only
all
other
of our
thing,
reactions to that, please, somebody.
The only other thing is real quick. I have so many screenshots of Fable stuck under tables and boxes and whatever. I have Minecraft comedy for me is big villain, fully horizontal, peeking out of a trash can. I don't know why, but I love it, and thanks to everyone else who every once in a while would just join me and just being, dude, just fully intense lore's happening. We're just under a table being really dumb.
Before we continue,
100 achievement during the stream where I think Ray went off to be gay with Wolf.
Yeah, you got Sneak 100 and everyone got terrified.
That's what we were doing, guys. So
Everyone was like, oh my god, guys, he's taking over the world.
Brilliant.
He was just crouching.
before we continue, Daniel, I know you just ever so carefully put those cat ears on. I would love it if you took them off.
Devastating.
Beck.
Oh man, my favorite blooper from my end is one that I don't think a lot of people got to see, because it was at the beginning of Unlocked on my perspective. I was sitting there being all sad that I had to give up my mom. So I'm sitting there very sad about losing my mother, and then my real mother knocks on the door and comes in like, hey, I needed to ask you something. And then I was like, Mom, I'm busy being sad. And she went, oh, I'm sorry, and left. And then she yelled back, oh, E.T. almost dies. Does that help you be sad? Just on stream, which I thought was super funny. And then my favorite tiny blooper that was not mine was, Connor, you catapulting yourself into a block 2 feet away and instantly dying.
It was so funny.
Slaughtered me. Oh, man, that was so good.
For me, I'll talk about one in season 3 because I have some from season 1 that I really like. There was a stream where I think I was just like vibing with Ray, and it was like Icarus emotional support, and I was like, I'm gonna take my bird with me, and Skittles full on drowned. Like we were like walking around, and I got the message in the chat, and I was like, no! And I had to break for like 3 minutes. I was like, it's fine, not canon. I'm putting back, but like I fully had to break. Like typically I stay in it during bloopers, but that was like Mumbu.
It's me. I can't fly in Minecraft like everybody else here. So every time I would like knock into the ground and just die on impact, I was like, oh dang, that's crazy. I don't know how to land. I never fly in Minecraft. And everyone else is like, oh, but Mama, we're going this way. And I'm like, okay, let me just take off. Let me just figure it out. And it's me like running around aimlessly trying to figure out how to take off because I don't know how Elytra works.
Nature Ram not being able to fly was one of the funniest things.
The book club stream, you just swimming really slowly across the water.
Like, I can't fly. It's so sad. Anyways, that's it. That's my blooper.
I have one really funny one, but an honorable mention to the one time when we were building, it was the coworker building base stream, and I don't know what happened. I accidentally clicked the left mouse button on my mouse, and I accidentally hit Daniel when he was talking, and he just went veneer in like the.
I was like, I'm staying in character for this.
I'm so happy that I wasn't the one streaming that because I had to like mute and like laugh my ass off about it and then keep going. But I think my favorite blooper is my wings running out of durability while we were flying through the void. And me getting really lost, falling into the void, and then TPing over to Sherb, and then because I genuinely could not like work out how to do things properly, I just went, God, can I have some wings?
I got you.
We're in the right wing. So we were like, okay, no, wait.
They just gave me a pair of elytra with their texture. I was like, oh, that's good enough. Then I got some paper wings later on. It was funny. It was good.
Schwip.
Oh my god, so way back season 1, I think it was early corruption, but we were like in the dome in Centros's house, and he thought that he could pick up the end crystal in survival mode, and it just exploded. And I don't remember if he died or not, but I just remember I was just I was dying. I don't know if he actually died, but I know that I was crying. It was very funny.
Coda and Hope accidentally making Milo. Not planned at all. It means Centros trying so hard to decide if this is canon or not in real time, and I don't know what possessed us. But we're like, yeah, I don't know. Just bring him home. Don't kill him. Don't dispose of him. Don't like that. It was just us fighting, and then also Juno dying outside of the door of Fenris's house, and Hey having to go into creative. Spawn me a rabbit and then leave. I'm just losing my mind. It was really funny. She was 2 feet away and just jumped off of nothing and died.
This is a season 1 blooper, and it will forever be my favorite because it was really, really funny. I've gotten better about turning off my alarms before lore. But there was a training stream, right? A really toxic training stream with me and Sherbert. And my alarm happened to go off, and it was the Kim Possible sound right when there was a pause in the music. I didn't plan that, and it was on Sherbert's side, so I couldn't even hear it. Like, but their music, like, went quiet, and then all you hear is beep, 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 and I was like, hang on.
I couldn't edit it out.
Like, it would go off a lot, but that's the one that sticks off in my head. Because, like, I just have a lot of random alarms turned on, and I don't remember why I turned them on, but they're on. There's just random alarms that go on throughout the day. And that one was just happened to be in the middle of the most silent, most tense part of lore. Like, I think you had just killed me, and I was, like, slowly walking my way back up, and it just beep, 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 and I was like... It never, like, I don't think I can ever top that.
Fun.
Honorable mention to the one that Becker already mentioned, the recent one with Jamie on my shoulders, flying 2 blocks forward at such speed that I instantly died. My other honorable mention, similar to Beck's thing, of during the finale, there's a moment where Fable hits Axe, and as Ulysses, I like yelled, "That's my son!" And my mom was like right outside my door, and I got a text message that just said, "Did you say that's my son?" Like, it's just like during law, I had to just like push it aside. But I loved the unlocked stream was one big blooper for me because my computer crashed in the moment between walking from town hall to lighting the portal, so it's just me frantically like listening to everyone and sprinting towards the portal. And then because I had to have my texture, my render distance down so far to have the shaders on and keep my computer running, when I was taking a glitched Mambu back to the tree, I couldn't see the tree for a very long time, and there was a moment where Mambu was like, "Oh, the tree! Oh no, what's happened to the tree?" And I genuinely thought that we had like destroyed the tree because I couldn't see it, and I was like, "Oh god, the tree's gone!" And then, like the closer we got, it started appearing. I was like, "Oh, I have to backtrack and cut that out of the edit." Wait. Just being like, "Oh shit, did we destroy the tree and I didn't realize?" No, I just but unlocked was just a time.
I have 2. One of them, it's a classic. We all know and love it. It's when Centros died in season 1 and I logged in, said L plus ratio plus that was canon, and then immediately logged out. A classic. We all know and love this one.
There are
The
some
other
things
one-
that can't be topped from season 1.
It's true. The other one that I very much like, which is a bit more recent, is use your teleportation muscles. From the spying stream.
All of the close your specialized chat is funny to me every time one of us does it. Of close your specialized.
Use your teleportation muscles, etc.
That shit like
Listen,
that. Funny.
I thought I knew where it was, and I definitely didn't.
Okay, mine is I'm struggling so hard. I have so many good ones. Atlas accidentally killing Hope when during one of the breakfast streams, I think it was breakfast streams, we brought the dogs together. We had been punching each other. The dogs went at it. It was not good. That one. Fun fact, my bonus, people didn't realize this was a blooper. Smashing Icarus in the head with the Malate statues was not the plan. I didn't mean to do that. I just went to copy paste. It was supposed to be next to them, not on top of them. But then it just was like
words in there. I was like, yeah.
I was like, now hold on.
I meant to do that.
That was a purpose. So then I just kept doing it. But my favorite one that like genuinely broke me and I had to like pause for a second was when Olive Sleepy raided into Ray and Violet having their first conversation after like getting to actually see Violet, and Centros broke character and goes, "Fucking dope." And I was like, sir, I was literally crying. There was snot dripping down my face. I was sobbing so hard in character. And then he's just like, "I'm fucking dope." And I was like, I hate you.
I thought you were going to do the one where you shot him and killed him after he said, "Shoot me with a heart." Shoot me with a heart in your shirt.
Shoot me with a heart.
Beautiful shorts.
And you know, would you love me if I was a worm? Everything with Centros kills me. Everything with Centros kills me.
That edited Centros's VODs, there are so many.
Honorable mention to every time that Jamie's dogs were barking and we were like, "Connor, you have things to say," or "Henry, you have things." Like we would just blame it on the in-game dogs, and it was funny every time. Like it never got old.
She fucking kills me personally.
Okay, I think I'm asking the next question.
Yep,
we got some volunteers. 4. What was your favorite thing to build from any of the seasons? And I'm gonna start with Art.
Yeah, my mic is on. Starbucks, absolutely. It became my favorite build, especially because we kept coming back to it and editing it, and I didn't think that would happen. But it was like the first like business bit that became just like so many things. Like Ray and Fenris's whole relationship was a little coffee shop AU. When I went to go visit Hey, it's what we filmed. The book club happened there. So many things happened there. I think that one's my fun one lore wise because so much could occur there. And my favorite thing that I got to just do building wise was Will Not Fake, because I went really bonkers for like 7 days and it looks really cool.
Okay, next one, Ghosty.
I am a big fan of Malate's place that me and Art worked on. It just looks so cool, and I love that, like, just the amount of collaboration that went on with that whole build of like all of like the different statues and like the whole building itself, and just like the all of it is very fun and I like it.
And Swip.
Okay, so I was struggling to like pick just one because I've built so much stuff over the 3 seasons, but so I had to go with like my proudest one, and that was turning Centros's freaking base into Endstone, and that was before we had world edit, so I had a fill command in a dream, and I think I hand placed about 75% of that thing, and I just for like 2 or 3 days straight, that's all I did. I was just like zoned in.
I remember.
And I was going crazy.
Shout out to us before we had world edit. Also, shout out to this is a personal shout out to me in particular, because I built. You remember the haunted mansion, guys? I built that in survival. Why? Who's to say?
I did the first whack glitches in survival, and then I was like, screw this.
Yeah.
Fun fact with the haunted mansion that we had to rebuild, we had nothing. I had to screenshot my VODs and look at them and then build it in a separate world and then be like, is this the right shape? And then go and build it for Haley in the season 3 world.
Yep.
It was awful.
I had to redo that roof like 4 times. I cannot tell you what it was supposed to look like. It probably was right. I don't know. Don't ask me.
Our world edit arc, because we were like, we're not like we went without it for a really long time, and then we were like, we are not rebuilding the records. We are not rebuilding the records.
We did that from hand. We did that by hand.
We did
it was creative, but yeah.
Well, yeah, still. While we're here, sure, take off your cat ears.
Oh my goodness. And I don't know what I would have done without World Edit for all of my Quixos glitches. That pond.
Oh my god, shout out. No, World Edit's so cool, man. I love World Edit.
Okay.
All right.
Next
to
question.
move forward, this is an everybody question. What was your favorite cutscene from the season? We'll say this season in particular, but Beck, you want to start?
Ooh, I go first. I think for me, probably the devexing. The devexing scene, because I had that thought around in my brain for so very long that I wanted the devexing to be vexed Ari meeting her childhood self, and that and then there's a lot of like my personal fear in that cutscene because of like I really like exploring the idea of like you can never be who you were as a child again, but you take her with you anyway. Like I have a big thing about like the reason I use she they pronouns is because like I feel bad about letting my childhood self go, and she's a little she her. So that cutscene meant a lot to me. I also really like how it came out. I thought it came out super good, and I really liked the drawings, and I did it. I started working on it way before I knew it had to be done, so I wasn't killing myself over it with like 2 days to spare. So yeah, I really love that cutscene. It means a lot to me.
Yeah. In contrast, Centros's death cutscene. I edited that thing. Point A, shout out to Fruit Salad, one of Mambu and I's IRL friends.
Love Fruit Salad.
They did such a good job. That cutscene was insane, both to edit and while it was playing, for several reasons. The first of which being that I didn't have all the frames until the night before. Like I was still getting the background artist to do the background for some of the shots, so I didn't even have all of it. I decided that I was gonna add color to the whack the night before, and I said, screw it, I don't care how much sleep I get, I want to add color to the glitching. And the craziest thing was that Centros was doing a subathon, so I couldn't get input from him the whole time, and I kept coming over and being like, hey, yeah, it's like maybe done, and we had to like finagle getting it on his Streamlabs. Like he had to end stream for like 2 minutes so that he could set up the cutscene button. And then we were so nervous that he was gonna press it before, like on accident, because he was like streaming all day. But oh my god, that cutscene was crazy. Daniel's acting, I can almost quote that cutscene from start to finish, all like 7 minutes of it, because of the editing. And Daniel's line delivery is, it was so much, but it was so fun.
See, you stole my answer because I was also gonna say the Centros death cutscene because I am very big besties with Fruit. I have known Fruit for a very long time, since like freshman year of high school. So, like this, and I've seen their art develop for like a really long time, and so getting to see them like be able to put it into something was like, one of my closest friends gets to do a thing, and they get to get their art recognized. And then I remember they had texted me before stream, because I obviously wasn't going to be on it because I wasn't on Cathedral War. I was dying. And so they texted me and they were like, oh, can you watch this live with me? It would be really cool because I'm really nervous about it. And I was like, you bet your ass I will. And I watched the whole thing with them, and they were so like finagling about it, and it was really important to me that my friend got recognized. I was very excited about it.
I don't want to have the same answer, so I'll diverge, but I will say, one of the things, I had some people be like, you were on when Fable ended, I was talking to a couple of my other friends who are all American. They were like, you were on that Fable that I've heard about. What's it about? And I was like, do you want to see a little bit of this really cool cutscene that we did at one point? And that's like, it feels like the saddest animation adjacent to Alpha enemy being like, this is the cool cutscene, now go watch the rest of it. But that incredible. I think my answer is I enjoyed everything that was put into the finale, just all of those. And that also includes a lot of people's epilogues. They were really cool. But I think that, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I do not know the name of the cutscene. But Mambu's death cutscene with the little Jamie and the little Easter egg, and the Mambu was so cute, so sweet. I loved it.
yeah.
Makes me cry.
My favorite that I did on my own was the Nevaeh and Fenris's kids, getting that reveal and drawing him as a little baby, because I pushed myself really hard on that one and I really care about it. My favorite cutscene of all time has to be the one me and Hehe worked on for Eret, because I think that was also when me and Hehe got really close as friends, as we fought for our lives for a week straight.
Every single day.
I kid you not, every single day. All night. We were just up super late. He's animating. I'm furiously rendering these scenes. We're just fighting for our lives to get this done, and we had a week to do it. And it wasn't something we didn't want to do. It just was a lot of work, and we really just put ourselves into it. So to see the fruits of our labor was really, really cool. And that one's just really important to me for what ended up being in terms of friendship and things like that. Just making a really cool fucking project with my homies. So I like that one.
Dina.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot I was next. I think like my favorite cutscene of the season is definitely Deathroom Times. That was so good. Art and Daniel's line delivery was fucking fantastic. Guys, fun fact, we did it in one take because their emotion was just so good. I knew like as soon as like people were like, who do you think you want to voice Nether? I was immediately like Art, because their voice. So I have synesthesia, and Art's voice to me sounds very, very warm. Art's voice sounds kind of like all like warm, fuzzy things, like warm blankets and hot tea and like melty chocolate and stuff like that. Art's voice is very soothing, and I was like that one. But if honorable mention to in season 2, all of the Perix cutscenes that I got to do with Ven and Hehe, those were super fun because a lot of it was just me and Ven standing really, really still while Hehe went and skulked up everything, and I was just like bantering and Ven info dumping about Genshin, and we just like talked, and it was like an hour of us kind of like just sitting there doing kind of nothing, but it was really, really enjoyable because I got to be with friends and do it, but also I love voicing Perix. She's like, I could never play a villain full time. I say that all the time, but I got to be a vicious, vicious bitch as a little treat, and I love her so much.
Connor.
I was gonna say, I think Jamie was gonna go first.
Oh, okay.
Did you have thoughts?
I have like multiple answers. I think all of the Delta cutscenes, just because I got to grab you and drag you into this. But especially the cutscene where Bruin made the sniffer is my favorite, because that was the first time that I like found an art style that I was confident enough in to like draw for the cutscene myself, even if it was like a little cutesy little weird animation style. I was really happy that like I did that with my own 2 hands and drew that for the cutscene. So that one.
My honorable mention is the Project Lycaon cutscene that I got to do with Art. That was the first time that I really got to go ham with the like audio editing and effects and things. And there are moments in that is like the proudest I've been. There's a moment where like Art's voice gets really gravelly and it morphs into like a snarling wolf sound, and I think about that regularly.
I cry about it.
I love it so much, and it's
Connor,
such a
your
turning point for the
soundscaping skills are so fantastic.
I can talk about soundscaping with a different question, but the 3 successive cutscenes in I Know What You Did are so important to me for different reasons. The little Perseus animation that Meta did is one of my favorite things ever. When people ask me about Fable, that's the thing that I show them as like, this is the thing that I'm a part of, and how like beautiful the animation style is and emotional it is. The hug GIF cutscene that was supposed to be a still frame, and then Meta like animated the hug of the 2 of them, and I got a message that was like, would Ulysses hug him back? And I was like, yes, absolutely. And then my little story for the audio cutscene at the end of that, of the escape, is that I recorded a couple of cutscenes at once. And I'd recorded that cutscene, and Ulysses was very stressed, but like no nonsense. And then I got later the lines back from Meta of little baby Axe, and there was so much pain and like confusion and emotion in Meta's delivery that I cried editing it, and then I went back and I re-recorded the Ulysses lines for that entire cutscene to be this emotional goodbye, because like the way it all came together was so much more like sad and heartbreaking, and so getting to like change the way that cutscene was supposed to be working with Meta is very, very important and very special, and I like it a lot.
Me when Meta's
Connor, put on some cat ears.
Alright, that is.
And Ghosty.
And me. If we're talking about just for season 3, see that's the thing, is there's just so many. The Fable getting stabbed cutscene.
So good.
Salad's art style. I eat it, I put it in my mouth, and I chew it up, and I swallow it, and I digest it. It's so good. I do also very much like Caspian's epilogue, because I put a lot of work into that. I did that in 2 days. I edited and illustrated that in the entirety of 2 days, and I'm very happy with it. I do think, like, just for pure nostalgia's sake, one of my favorite cutscenes is the very first time that Ray and Caspian kissed. Just because it's such like, I don't know, that was one of the first ever cutscenes that we ever did, and it just holds a very special place in my heart.
Art already talked about Epros, which was one of my 2. So my other one that I will talk about is the Rax cutscene with Ray and Axe reveal of their backstory for several reasons. One, the music. I love the music in it. That is Zenny. Meta and I said, we looked at the Nimona. It's literally called Nimona's theme. And Nimona's theme song, like, when she's small and telling her backstory, we were like, that, but not copyrighted, please. And Zenny did awesome. And then this cutscene might be one of the proudest I have been in terms of animation, because I never thought I could animate like Meta does. And I kind of eased my way into it of helping Meta with some of their cutscenes and then doing like combo cutscenes. And then this one, I ended up doing all of it. And I didn't think I could do that. And so that was really, really cool to actually put it all together and get it all done. And have a lot of little things like, I never would have drawn this down here without having done that cutscene where I did the little guys, because I always thought my little guys like style looks stupid. So I don't know, it was just like a real confidence booster, and I really, really am proud of that one. I think it tells a lot of really good storytelling, and there's not a whole lot of dialogue. Like it's very focused on the music, and I really like that. So I hold that one in my heart. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Endirian's death cutscene. This is gonna be a little selfish because the shot of Fable with the halo of swords is when I was like, oh, he is the villain. Like, this is a man who is like powerful and evil, and I like really love that scene, really cementing that and showing that visually.
Shout out to Rye.
Rye the beloved. Yes.
And I'll say, like, before we move on, this is a personal shout out to every single person's epilogue. so much went into everybody's epilogue, and they were all just so insane. And big appreciation to everybody.
Yeah. Okay. I just looked, and I think we might have to skip a question or two. We have some people who might gotta dip soon, so we might have to skip ahead. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Can we circle back?
Oh yeah, we will circle
what I
back,
said,
but I
yeah.
think Ghosty got a dip soon.
I just
Fair.
said, yeah. That's what I was saying. We
I-
could go and ask Ghosty the question and then go back.
It sure is my birthday, and I do have birthday things to
You are
attend
all
to.
good. Would, oh, that's a good point. Of we could ask just Ghosty this question.
Yeah, and then go back to the
and
other
then go
questions.
back. Okay.
Athena, take off your cat ears.
Okay.
Athena, take off your cat ears, and Ghosty.
Oh, I can take over cat ears duty when you go as well.
Cool.
Thank you,
Sounds
Athena. Ghosty, the question we'll ask you before you leave, birthday boy, is how has Fable SMP impacted you personally, and how have you learned from it?
It is like this is probably one of the most impactful things that I've ever done in my life. I kind of talked about this when we were all hanging out, like after the finale in VC, but like I didn't have any friends before Fable. I had gone through a really shitty friend group who said some really awful lies about me, and I had literally nobody. And then I have you guys, and I'm just really grateful that I was able to have that happen, because I don't think I sorry, words. I think I've just learned about the world as a whole, and about, I don't know, I struggle a lot with mental health, and I think a lot of this has helped me with trying to manage it a bit better, is one thing I have learned. Another way it has impacted me is if my lovely partner will come here for a second, because I literally would not be in a relationship if my friend Killabean hadn't raided in to me, and then I had raided into Sherbert, who was doing a literal prison stream, and Star was modding for Bean, and then found out about Fable, and now we've been dating for a year and a half now. And that would not have happened if I was not a part of Fable. So, yeah. I'm gay because of Fable.
Thank you,
made you
Ghosty.
gay.
Fable SMP invented gay people, everybody. You heard it here first,
on your
folks.
birthday.
Professional wingman.
Happy birthday, Ghosty.
Happy birthday, Ghosty.
Happy
Go have
birthday,
fun.
Ghosty.
Thank you. Bye, gamers.
Bye.
Okay. We're gonna
You
hop
two are gonna
back.
have to adjust your single person cameras because
Yeah, it's too late.
that's
I'm
gonna
not
change.
gonna go back to it. It'll be forever doomed.
We stay here with us now.
You just
Okay.
throw in a random block.
But I'll loop back on the question we were gonna ask next is your favorite parallel or foreshadowing throughout the seasons. And this is a volunteer one. And I start. Oh no, I start. I don't know if I have a specific one, but so much of the brothers' lore was very intentionally like mirroring times from season 1 or from their childhood. We very purposefully did a lot of stuff to reflect those two and their relationship and their dynamics, and getting to have those parallels. I just really enjoyed that every time we got to have another kind of something happen. And I think Sherbert pointed this out, that kind of like a fun, like almost like the opposite of a parallel, a perpendicular
Juxtaposition.
a juxtaposition, a foil, a fun thing, was that No Longer You was the first time Ray initiated combat against Icarus, ever. And so that was really fun to just have a lot of times where that just kept carrying through. Even in like the Lenarius death stream, they re-engage in flight combat. Just those two do so much together, and it makes me But all right, Beck, you get to go.
Oh, hell yeah. So my favorite type of foreshadowing is teeny tiny detail that you completely skim over the first time you're watching it, and then you get to the end and you go, holy shit, when you go back. And maybe this one wasn't a holy shit moment, but my favorite little detail is that Ari tells Fenris exactly what happened to Isla months before what happened to Isla got revealed, because in the sleepover stream with Fenris and Ari's talking about how, like, oh yeah, my mom, when I used to have nightmares, would, like, kind of lock my nightmare away so I could go to sleep easier. And then she says she didn't, like, get rid of them because getting rid of it would, like, really mess you up, and then just keeps going. And it's just this teeny tiny line, but I really, really love that right there was that's what happened to Isla. Someone tried to rip her memories out of her head, and guess what? It really messed her up. And it's a very tiny thing, but it makes me super happy.
It's good content.
Yeah.
Sherbert.
I have like 7 things written down right here. But in short, I am such a sucker for history repeating itself. And there's so many examples of this. A couple of my favorites is like when in season 2, Sherbert and Easton are like, let's go make a prank gang, and they spawn a wither, and it's like, whoa! And no idea. And like specifically using music cues is something that I do a lot of. Playing songs to put like a backtracking so that when I play that song later, you're put into that mode. And the really, really strong example is the cave. Leading up to Centros's death. When we were like talking about it, I was like, Daniel, do you wanna like name this cave? And he was like, I wanna call it the Cave of First Breath. And I was like, oh my god, they don't even know that this is where Centros gonna take his last breath. And like in the drinking stream, because I knew that I had to like show Centros the cave, and I had to take him there so he would know where to go later. And that stream where I take him there is like the biggest like direct foreshadowing of like we're gonna be back here, and that's why like they say goodbye in the drinking stream, because they like he knows he's not gonna get to. And same thing with like Ven's death, and just so many things that got built up to over time. And getting that sick payoff like right at the end of the story was so sick, and I love it.
Also, honorable mention to Daniel in the fucking Among Us stream, consistently saying, I'm gonna kill Ben.
This is something, if I may, real quick slip this in here. I just realized that I had something here. This was not at all planned, but the way that Ray and Athena mirror Isla and Soul's friendship is really important to me, and I wanted to put that in really quickly before we move on because I care about them. I just like them. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah.
And then our last question, before the big final question for everybody.
Second to last.
Second to last. What's the favorite detail from your character's epilogue? And I start this actually. There are so many. Getting to do that cutscene IRL for most of it is such like a big project that I knew I wanted to do. And the fact that I like pulled it off and getting all the sherbs done. Every single sherb has so many little things on them, like the specific ones that like mirror scars to other sherbs, and just so much of that. And then my silly thing is my trident changing into the Quixis symbol. It's so dumb, but I had that written for so long that I was like, here's my little detail. And then the sign-offs, which I know broke a lot of people, getting all the sherbs to say like thank you and then all their names. I eat it up so much. Mumbo.
I didn't realize that my mic was muted. Yeah, I was really happy that I got to write Mambu's little happy ending. Because I knew that she was gonna come back, but she wasn't gonna be like in the final battle or anything. So I was like, oh, she needs to have like her little final moment with her kids and everything. And it was, I think one of my favorite parts about it was like recording with Jamie and Emma one more time. And it took so long to do that cutscene. Not because we were sad. No, that's not why it took so long. But because recording with Jamie and Emma is always such an experience when we do anything, because we goof off so much and we go off topic so much. And it just was like bittersweet, like knowing, oh, this is the last time that we're gonna be able to record like this with these characters and everything. And obviously, like, we're still gonna be working on projects and stuff in the future together and everything, but it was definitely like one of those moments of, oh, this is like the last time that we're gonna be working with these guys. Which it was, again, bittersweet. I'm not gonna cry because I'm waiting to cry till my last question. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold it in. Other favorite thing in epilogue, last minute, me and Beck messaging each other and being like, hey, what if we made a little thing kinda canon, but don't like make it fully canon, maybe. And then later on going on Tumblr being like, it's canon. We don't care. We don't care. It's canon. It's real. They're gay. Take what you get. Take it. But yeah, that's it. That's my epilogue stuff.
I think Ven's epilogue is such a, like, I don't know which bit is my favorite because there's so many moving pieces, and so I can't pick like a thing. Honorable mention to the final lines in which Ven is like, "Do I know you?" Because they're good, and those implications are great within Fable, and they're great in. I like him. It's good, and I'm gonna think about them for a long time. I also think it's like such a cool thing, and I feel like kind of honored to be one of the only person to have seen the world port.
Yeah.
So actually seeing it on my screen was cool as hell. I didn't know if that was going to be a thing that was going to happen because the script was a mess until it was recorded. So I didn't know what it was going to look like until we were filming. And so the fact that I got to, like, I have a copy of the world port now.
You do. You are the only one with it anywhere on a server. It's in a survival world for me, so.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, this is tangible. I can touch it. That's a weird thing to think about. But I think those is like probably my favorite things. And there are a couple of other favorite things about that cutscene that I can't talk about. That foreshadow, but you know, like it's a good I'm really happy with it. And it was one of my favorite things to work on. And it's bittersweet knowing that like Fable is over now. My brain still hasn't adjusted to it. But yeah. That's all.
Sweet.
Okay, so this was not planned at all for the epilogue. And it only came around because I was messing around putting on 85 different skins before we started. And I realized that my original skin that I was going to use for season 3, I had made the hair super white. But I also had another copy of it with my normal hair. And so in the first clip, it's like my normal hair, it's blonde, and then the second clip, it's the white hair, and so it's because it's like they stayed mortal, and it's later on, you know, and so it's like they got older, but their mom and their brother didn't, and I just think it's a little fun. I just think it's a little fun thing.
Sniffles.
Not fun, it's sad.
Oh,
It's really sad.
What the fuck, man?
What if we cry at you about that?
My epilogue, I think it was fun because I didn't know how it would end his story, and I figured at some point as we were getting towards the end of needing to make it that I should showcase the people that made Wolf, because I think the fact that my epilogue was really a tribute to as many memories and fun moments that I had with the people here in this room that I could feasibly do, of me poking each of them and saying, I really want to showcase this thing that they do in the future. Like, I tried to do as many as I physically possibly could to get them in there, because, like, obviously couldn't get everyone, but it really, he's a combination of everyone who impacted him. He got to interact with, from his friends to his siblings to his partners. But my ending isn't just mine. It's also a piece of everyone else who came in to make it as it is. And not all moments are, like, extreme or big. Like, but it's like what you make of them and how you build on them, and I think that's a really important note for Fenris as a character. So the fact that my epilogue is a little bit of piece of everything that made him whole, I just really love that, because it's also things that made me whole.
I'm gonna cry. Okay, so, something for me that was really, hang on now. Alright, what the fuck, that was really sweet. One thing that really mattered to me in my epilogue was including all of the uncles, because the uncle thing was not planned. That was just like a thing that I kind of just did, as, Fable kind of progressed. But having all of the uncles help Athena get ready for their coronation was really, really important to me. And like I had this talk with Art, and this was I had to talk with Art off like lore or anything, and this is just something that I think is really important to me, is Fenris teaching Athena how to style and cut their like more curly hair, because they just don't know how to deal with it. And so Fenris like being the one to cut Athena's hair was really important to me, and just like the fact that Athena just has this entire huge family, because she grew up like basically all alone except for like Len, you know, like she had Len and then she grew this whole family, and I just think it's really, really important. I'm gonna go move on before I start crying again.
So for me, the Ulysses epilogue was interesting because Ulysses was never really supposed to get one. Ulysses, kind of in my mind, was supposed to die as the end of his story, and it wasn't until probably around like Christmas time that we decided, oh no, he's gonna live to the finale. And to kind of have him go from being, you know, last of his kind, all alone, to having this huge community and family was so sweet. If I have to pick like a specific little image, the Ulysses and Axe dancing at the wedding, and I remember getting a message at one point from, I don't remember if it was Hey Meta, that was just like, would Ulysses walk Axe down the aisle in the wedding procession? And I was like, absolutely, please, because the Ulysses kind of being Axe's dad specifically and filling that role was honestly a really last minute choice, kind of taking it from like just being this like good deed, letting this child free, to be like, no, there's a relationship and a love here, and getting little details of like the dancing at the wedding, or the little pile of sleepy Ulysses, Virago, and Calcis. Is I don't know, I just like his epilogue and getting to have this family and these connections. And my little brief honorable mention is in the little picture where he's in Elysium. That's the season 3 squad. Ulysses, Aristana, and Addie. We never got to do lore together as like season 3, so I was like, I want them to have a little moment where they get to be in the library together.
Mambu stole my answer in almost word for word. I was totally gonna say just the like a ridiculous amount of time we spent recording what was like less than 10 minutes of footage, but it was just goofing around with them. It was so much fun with family.
Yeah. Athena, I think we have a cat the cast, if you could. You're muted.
I was just saying I'm on it.
Perfect. Okay, I'll answer and then you cat someone, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, Ray was always gonna have a happy ending. It was my contingency of putting him through fucking hell, was this man gets a happy ending. But with the epilogue, making it a collaborative piece from the community by getting Zenny involved with music, by getting a bunch of artists involved, by getting so many cast members involved, by me poking all of them to be like, what if this, what if this? Planning a wedding, planning a fucking wedding in Ray's, like, with all of Ray's partners. But one of the things that probably, like, brought me, they're probably the tied for most joy brought from this, is Vea. just the fact that realizing that Ray would really want to be a dad and getting that really, really means a lot to me. And then the other one being his, like, this scrapbook is his newest family and his oldest family, because Bruin and Athena canonically write all the notes that go in there. And that's something that really came about, especially because I made it physical. I made it physically, and I added in all those notes, and I sent them to Athena and Jamie to be like, do these feel in character? Do these feel correct? Are they... I just love the idea that these two were, like, started as, like, putting silly little notes of, like, do not put field notes in your goddamn scrapbook. And then Ray tapes them in. Like, they were supposed to be just, like, a silly note to him to be like, no, don't do that, you dork. And then he actually, like, is like, well, this is part of it now. And tapes them in there, and there's a lot in those. And I really, really like that part. It's his oldest and his newest family.
So I missed 2 cat ears because I was busy crying. So Daniel and Sherbert, put on some cat ears.
No.
Just slowly. That's absolutely fucking not. Like, no. Fucking
Like,
dare.
what are you doing?
Oh, Daniel,
No.
you didn't get an epilogue. Do you have an answer?
I have an answer. If
Okay,
you guys
cool.
Want to hear it.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So it seems like Fable didn't get an epilogue, but to me, that just conversation after he is stabbed is his epilogue. It's the moment where Fable sadly says he won't get to fix all that's broken. And I think that really resonates with me. I can sympathize with a man who's like trying really hard to make the world a better place for his family, even though in this case he has all the wrong ways of doing it. And even in that final speech where he's like kind of opening up, Fable still doesn't understand that he's failed and he's continued to fail, like far before being stabbed, far before even the SMP even began. It's like he has always failed because he's always trying to fix literally everything, no matter the cost, instead of just fixing the one thing he should, which is his relationship with his family. And I think his last line, I tried to touch the sun, all I did was burn us all, really reflects that. It's like, it shows what happens to a lot of people in real life is that they're trying really, really hard to make all these other things work when really they just need to focus on the people around them. And sometimes people get clouded by trying to do the best thing and shoot for the moon instead of just working with the people they have and loving the people around them.
This is not canon by any means, but I like to think that Fable actually got to apologize to his siblings in Elysium. Like, I think, because in the end, he was like thinking about, like, he was looking up and talking to them and being like, oh shit, I killed all of my family.
Yeah.
I like to think that at some point he got to see them again. And I like to think that when Soul saw him in Elysium, she slapped him. I just think that that's
A lot.
correct.
There's probably a big
I think
line
there's
of
a
people
line.
Oh,
slapping
Ari
him.
stabs him. Ari
Yeah,
stabs
I
for
think,
sure.
I think
for
there's
sure.
a cue that lines up, like the day he comes in, like we know he's gonna come in, like everyone's
Yeah.
like, get ready, there's
They
a
got
line.
There's a celebration.
Yeah,
a
exactly.
parade.
Party.
Like Google Calendars for when Fable reappears.
Beck.
Yeah, I have 2 little ones. My first one that I absolutely adore is Icarus changing the coworker's photo into a flower. It is such a small detail in my epilogue, but it makes me so fucking happy. I remember I wrote that and I sent it to both you and Ven, and I was like, if you don't like this, we don't have to do it. I have a contingency plan. And you were both like, this rules. And I was like, fuck yeah, because I really wanted to do it. So yeah, it's just that it's that tiny little moment of like coworkers getting wrapped up into like, because that's like the last little coworkers bit is that photo, and then it disappears, and I love that a whole lot. And the other tiny one for me is I really love the Polaroid of her seeing Illyrion again, because her whole story has been like she lost this place and it's gone forever, but it's not at the very ending it's not entirely gone, because the 2 people that still remember it get to see each other again. And I I really love that. I really love her getting to go see Illyrion again and getting back the last piece of home, and I love it a whole lot. And I think he would approve of what she's doing with Elysium. We didn't talk about that in canon. I think he would love it. Personally.
Also, Beck, you reminded me of a little thing. Athena has no idea why they have 2 orchids tattooed on them. They drew the design of the tattoo beforehand, and when you said Icarixis, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, there's 2 orchids on Athena's tattoo. She has no idea why, because she already drew the tattoo beforehand. But it's because Icarus. Oh, it's so sweet.
I cry. All right. It's last question time.
Now we all get to cry.
And
Oh, no. Wait, did you answer?
Yeah, I was first. So
oh, you were first. I'm a fool.
Mambu is first for this.
Okay. Sherv's gonna be last on the last question, which is amazing. Actually,
so,
you want me to ask?
I ask it this time. You went last one. So, so Mambu, how has Fable SMP impacted you personally, and how have you learned from it?
All right. So I already when the finale came out, or at least when my epilogue came out, I put out a long post on Tumblr, basically detailing my whole thing about it. So I'm gonna kind of condense that here, so that I don't completely sob. But here, let me go ahead and read what I had written down so that I can at least kind of look at something. I think it was just really cool to be on a project with so many people that I've come to really respect and really love the talents of, then eventually call them my friends and everything. And then obviously starting out with Fable, I started out with friends that I had already known for a long time, and then we eventually brought more people in. That was really nice. And it was just really cool to work in a medium that I never thought I would work in, with Minecraft and all that type of stuff. Talking specifically about Mambu, I said this in my post, but I'll bring it back. I didn't have it planned for Mambu to play a mom. That wasn't a thing from the very beginning. That was something that kind of came into fruition later with Jamie and Emma coming up to me being like, ha ha ha, what if we pretended that you're our mom and lore? Ha 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 ha, it would be so funny, ha ha ha. And I was like, you know what, sure, let's do it. Let's have a silly, goofy time. And then it went a lot deeper than I thought it would. And kind of it's funky because without going into too much detail, I don't have a very good relationship with my mom. I am not close with her really at all. She's a very distant person. So playing a mom was something that I was oh, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do this. I don't know if I can mentally handle doing this because it's a lot for me. And then over time, it was oh, she's making mistakes and she's doing all these things, but eventually, as she makes these mistakes, even though they're big mistakes, she learns from them and she apologizes and she grows as a person, which is really, really important to me personally. And just that, exploring that relationship was really, really important to me. But yeah, in general, working on Fable was this really big project, and I'm really happy that everybody was able to tell their stories and everything, and really get them out there. And before I move on to the next person, I want to share my favorite, one of my favorite stories from before Fable started, which was the night before Fable started. Scrambling, I think it was in Centros's apartment, his old one, that we were all scrambling to figure out what to name Fable. Because we didn't know. We were oh, we have this SMP starting tomorrow, and we don't have a name for it. And we were scrambling and running around and figuring out what we wanted to name it. And it was me and Haley specifically, in the corner. I was drawing this little thing on my iPad, and I was oh, we need to figure out some sort of title for this. And we were looking up synonyms and all this type of stuff, and eventually we settled on Fable because we knew that we wanted it to be a story. That was always the big thing. And it is a story. It's a story that everybody's telling from different points of view, and it just means a lot to everybody, and I'm very happy about it. And I don't want to talk anymore because I'm gonna cry, but yeah.
The little thing you were drawing on your iPad is still the icon for the cast server, which I think is neat.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it. I'm gonna cry.
I don't even know where to start. I know I'm not gonna cry, so I'm just gonna do my best. Like, I'm not gonna cry because it feels so. I still feel so jumbled about the idea of Fable not being a thing I wake up and think about all morning, because that's what Fable became for me. When I joined Fable, I came in here, I knew a total of like, honestly, one person. I knew Shep. And I knew my mutuals who were also in here, but I hadn't had like the ability to talk to them yet. And I was like, this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make friends with people on the internet, because I had just come out of a situation in which someone stripped all of my friends from me. And so I came into Fable and I started at the bottom. I didn't have much. And I came out of it with all of these people that I talk to every day, and I would call my friends, which is something that I didn't expect to ever have. And Fable became a really happy and healthy routine for me, because Australian time zone wise, Americans kind of go to sleep in the afternoon for us. So I would spend my morning on Fable, and then I spend my afternoon on whatever other work I need to get done during the day. But Fable became this kind of constant throughout, like this 2-year period for me. And my brain isn't really comprehending the idea of Fable being done, because I've gained so much from it, and I was not expecting to gain anything from it. When I joined Fable, I was expecting to finish the project and then maybe talk to everyone like once a month. Like, I wasn't expecting to continue these friendships, because I didn't expect people to want me around anymore, which sounds glum as fuck, but don't worry about it. I'm just kind of amazed that I still every day get to wake up, check my Discord, talk to all of my friends, and I get to write alongside them. And Fable was also the thing that taught me how to write collaboratively. Like, I will preach this to the end of time. I don't think you're a very good writer unless you've worked collaboratively before. Every good writer starts with a solid foundation, and honestly, Fable's solid foundation is the friends that we have here. And I think it's incredible that I get to sit here and get online every day and talk to my friends and write some little things and bounce ideas off them. Because writing has been my passion since I was so very small. And the fact that I get to continue that every day is incredible. And the things that Fable has helped me work through and is still helping, like this group is still helping me work through, is not something I ever comprehended that I would get over. I thought I was going to be stuck in one place my entire life. And now I'm not, which is crazy. But yeah, Fable's great. That's what Fable means to me. Thanks.
Swip.
Okay, so I didn't really know how to like put this into words, but being a part of Fable has honestly like taught me how to feel a lot more than I used to. You know, growing up, I was very distant. I really kind of struggled to make connections with people, and you know, getting to meet and become friends with all of these amazing people, I like realizing the amount of love I have for everyone. It was honestly crazy, because I didn't used to feel that. And I don't know. It's just, I'm always going to cherish these friendships. I hope they last until years and years from now. I love you guys.
I'll cry. I'll sob. I'll fucking
Y'all
baby.
crying yet? We crying
In there.
Y'all didn't think to bring tissues?
No.
I have a tissue
Water.
box.
Hey, can I have a tissue? Can you pass me one?
Yeah, here, hold
Yeah,
on.
homie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let
here.
me get one of those.
Through the camera.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I feel so loved here. That's so upsetting, the way that you said that and the way that you did. I have to go now. All of this was very new for me. I think of the people here in this space, I wasn't like a person who was in the MCYT community, at least not like in terms of the content I made. I enjoyed it, but I didn't make any friends of you all through that. I think I followed Chirp because of FNAF stuff, and then like saw Hey Hey by association and was like, I don't know who that Osei is, but he's cool. And just moved on. So it wasn't a space that I saw myself in of all the ones that I've been in, because I've been in the content creator space for a while. Y'all see me over here in these trenches. I've been bouncing about and seeing different places, but I think it's the one I've always wanted but never knew could exist. Like this collaborative storytelling was what I would love to have, what I was loving to do back when like OC creator tags were a big thing, of like telling a story with a bunch of different people and all of you guys have your little characters and you have like a general premise and we're all cosplaying them. And I liked that, but it was never very continuous. They always burned out. And I'm a whore for seeing a project to its completion. I'm so sad for as many stories as I've gotten to touch and tell that never quite got to close the book. And the fact that this one does means a lot to me. It means a lot that people got to finish the thing that they started. Like, by the end, you've made something really cool that you can go back and look at and say, I did that, and that's neat. I think Fable's made me like a better person, a better artist, a better content creator. I left college some odd years ago, and with this degree in art and animation and things, and hated it by the end of it, to where I never thought that I'd want to do art again. And then seeing in the recent months that I had made over 100+ art pieces for this little Blorbo and this little SMP and of the friends that I've made here, and just absolutely bonkers in a way that I never thought I would be. Looking back at the original concept for Wolf to now is a level of progression of art I just never thought would be possible, because I never thought I'd have the motivation or drive. And this is the peak of having motivation and drive to tell this continuous story. Being like at my lowest before joining and just being so welcomed in a space. And I remember so fondly nervously messaging, like, I'm pretty sure every single person here in this call to be like, do you want to meet my guy? And I didn't know anyone here. People I've maybe known of each other, like vaguely in comments or like mutuals, but I'd never talked to Sherbert before this. I never talked to anyone here. So it's just me being like, you can do it, you can be brave, you can message. You guys want to do lore? We could go build a pond. And I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just hoping, and I did it with every single person in this call here, where I just rolled up to their chats and was like, hi, do you want to hang out? And it worked out to make such amazing things, where it was Wolf beginning and him getting to know these people, but it was me. It was Art getting to know these people and hanging out with everyone. It was just, it's words that really can't describe how much of an impact it's done on me, and how much I'm going to take this past now as, in my mind, this is my magnum opus. I can't see anything that I create being quite this level of impact on the people who I've made friends with, myself, and a community, just in the way that this story was told. It was such a leap of faith the day I messaged Sherb, just offhandedly, and I'm so glad I jumped, because I was terrified. Because I think I flew. I don't think I jumped. I think I just soared after that, and it's really fucking good.
Oh, the leap of faith that is messaging Sheb at Quake 56 and asking to be
it was 3 days of anxiety. I was like, this motherfucker is gonna never message me back. They're gonna think that I'm weird, that I want to roll up.
It's really funny that you say that.
It was 3 days of terror, and then it was like, oh, actually, we were thinking of adding you.
Yeah, we were gonna message you, and then you messaged Sherb, and we were like, oh, we don't have to take the first step.
You don't have to take the leap, and then left me on red for 3 days.
That's just a Sherbert thing.
Yeah, that's
Athena, it's your turn.
Fondly.
I know, I'm stalling. So, okay, before Fable, I'm gonna try really hard to get through this without, like, sobbing incoherently. I did not, again, like a couple of people here, did not have a lot of friends growing up. I didn't actually have any stable friends. I had, like, people who I knew, who knew me also. But I didn't have any people that I actively, like, wanted to talk to all the time, that I wanted to know and wanted to be around. And then one day, some idiot messaged me on TikTok and said, "Hey, have you read this fic? Here's my Discord." And then I was like, what's Discord? I gotta learn how to use Discord. And update me on your emotional state as you go. It happened to be Sherbert. And then all of a sudden I'm being invited into servers, and I was like, yeah, I love writing and stuff. And Sherb was like, you want to help out with Fable? And I was like, I love to help out with Fable. And when we started, there was nothing, right? Like it was absolutely from square one. I remember sitting on the phone with Haley and Sherbert and designing the gods, and Haley telling me the only requirement is that they all be hot. And I remember designing Fable and Darian and Netherim, and like okay, Fable SMP has taught me a lot about how to be a good artist. I have learned so much from the people who I've worked with. Collaborative art is a real thing. Art, Hey, and Meta really helped me out with my art a lot throughout the years and time that I've known the three of them, you know. And I also learned how to be a friend. I never knew how to do that before. And yeah, there were some bumps along the road, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was kind of winging it. But I had people who kind of understood that, and were ready to kind of hold my hand through it and be like, and I learned how to communicate with people and talk to people and have friends. I didn't know how to do that before. And now I do, and now I stream and I make art on a regular basis. I thought I was done with art when I dropped out of college, but I wasn't. And I have learned so much just from my experiences. I've picked up little science facts from Hey. I have learned so much about film from Sherbert. I have learned all about art. I have learned about voice acting. I've learned about soundscaping. These people in this SMP have taught me so much, and I don't think I can ever express how grateful I am to all of you guys for how you changed me as a person. Because I didn't used to like myself, but now I think I'm pretty cool. I'm done now.
Amy?
Connor had to go get the dog, so we might have to circle back to him when he gets back.
That's okay.
But I can talk while he's gone. I've stolen his chair. I just feel like for me, I just can't process like the block of time that has gone into this. Because I think I went and looked for the DM from Sherb the other day just to see like when that happened, and I was either like freshly 16, maybe even 15 at that point, and now I'm like almost 20. So the amount of growing up that happens in that span in your life that I've done like with you guys and with my character, and how that is so like documented throughout this entire project is just so crazy to me. The like point that we started to the point we are now always shocks me. Are you okay?
That's so Connor. That's so Connor. We can't
While
even
we have
escape.
a second, Art,
It's
can
like
you
the
take off
fly.
your ears, please, for me?
Thank you for freeing
What
me.
an
God, that's
intro.
so
And
Connor.
it's your turn to speak.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I might have socks on and I slipped on the carpet coming back into the room.
Well, thank the Lord for waterproof mascara.
Were you done?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got to gather my thoughts now because I just fell and I'm very tired. Oh, sorry.
Would you like us to loop back around? We can.
Maybe if you could, yes,
Go
please.
for it, yeah. Okay, here,
Yeah.
I'll go, then you can go, okay? Okay. Oh, crap, that means I have to go. Okay.
Someone just said, imagine Connor. Oh no, that was Art. Art said, imagine Connor with your kinetic damage in chat. I need you all to know about it.
Okay.
You can't tell me that's not what it felt like.
So, Fable means a lot to me. And it finally hit after my Let's Talk About Ray's epilogue stream, I came out of that stream so excited and happy and in such a good mood that I'm always in when I want to go plan lore. And it hit that there isn't any more lore to plan for Ray. And that was weird because I was so ready to go open my DMs. And I do this thing where I go through the list of character names and I go, what am I do? What am I like? Can I do something with Axe? Can I do something with Athena? Can I do something with it? Can I do something with this? And then I go DM people. It's such a way that I've gotten to just like, I don't know, maybe use it as an excuse to go check on my friends all the time. But it's something that I think even out of lore, I've gotten better at just checking in on people and maintaining relationships. And I think for me, one of the big things that Fable gave me is confidence in myself as a creative person. As you guys know, I'm an engineer. I thought that I was just like, that's what I was told I was good at, was being smart. And even though I loved creative stuff a lot more, I was told that it wouldn't ever do anything. But storytelling is what I'm really, really passionate about. And this is probably the coolest thing I've ever gotten to do, is collaboratively storytell and collaboratively make things and collaboratively become a better artist and get the confidence to animate and get the confidence to DM air it and talk to people and reach out to people and feel like I can do this. And I can really do stuff that I care about, and not just me caring about what I'm doing, but I care a lot about the people I'm doing it with. I try and talk to a lot of you guys. I've tried to reach out when I know that shit's going icky in the real world, and just be there to be like, hey, let's just like hang out and talk. We can vibe. Do you need someone to vent to? I can hang out and just do that. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to me. You guys mean a lot to me. And I'm really, really thankful that I got to tell a story with all of you for the last 3 years or less. And it's surprising to me how much even that or less doesn't really change how much I care. It's not a Sherbert has been here long, I care most about Sherbert. It's really impressive to me how much this built friendships as fast as it did. So thank you guys. You guys are all really cool.
We can't keep doing this where we just
I'm
start
sorry.
to violently sob.
I'm sorry.
This is the third time.
Okay, it's Connor's turn. Go back to
Oh
Connor.
my God, I don't know how I'm gonna look back after that. That was really
I don't know if I
sweet.
can keep talking.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of a sentiment that's been echoed a couple of times, that like this is not a space that I thought I would find myself in. Like I've been involved in you know, I've been writing things since I was a real little kid, and been involved in writing things and online like roleplay and collaborative writing things for a long time now, and I've never really had something like Fable that has come together in such a way where everyone is putting in so much effort to tell just this amazing, wonderful collaborative thing, and to see it through and kind of have it finish and it's such an environment that is Sorry, I'm trying to speak, but I'm also getting emotional. Um, it's such an environment where everyone is trying to elevate everyone else in the space and push everyone further. You know, I've gotten to learn new skills and reignite old passions and things. I'd been in such a creative rut for years before being introduced into Fable, and I learned to start drawing again to do things for Fable, and I've learned that I have a passion for sound editing and for soundscaping through being able to do silly little things for Fable and cutscenes, and getting to work with one of my best friends and make so many more amazing best friends in through being invited to this project and getting to meet so many amazing people and like kind of foster these relationships through this block game and this story and these characters that everyone cares about so much has been just such a wonderful experience, and I'm really excited to kind of take these friendships and move forward into other projects and other things with them, and to learn from Fable and keep going on and do it with everyone here. It's just been an absolutely wonderful experience, and I'm so grateful to have been involved in it. I think I'm done.
Daniel?
All right. So I was in the background almost for the first 2 seasons, well, 1.5 seasons, and I never like streamed. I never made a video for me. So Fable, in a weird way, I got to see build through Haley and then step into it myself. But I can't believe through that, like, people have been building this for 3 years, and then in the last 6 months, it was like I was gifted and everyone allowed me to, and I can't thank you enough to have the confidence in me to say, you will be the face of this in the end. And I think that pushed me to rise way farther than I thought I could. And so many people have said so much about my voiceover and stuff that I'm like, I probably should make a reel and really trying to figure that stuff out, because it's something I've been told since I was like 12 that I would be better at, that I would be good at that. But I never wanted to do that because that's what my dad did, and I have a lot of negative feelings with that. And then I got to do editing of scripts, that's also how me and Haley started our relationship. I edited their symposium paper and we won that symposium, and I can't believe that that's something else that I got to continue through here. I can't believe that we've helped people physically, like Athena was in dire straits and other people we actually gave thousands of dollars to charity, and like we've impacted people for real. Like, I know there's so much emotion in writing, but there's also like so many things behind that. And for me in particular, sometimes I have felt like almost like an outsider, because I almost identify as a straight white man in a very LGBTQ plus place that's trying to lift up other voices, lift up voices that I don't want to silence. And sometimes I'm always worried that I do. So I'm happy that I was able to be a part of this and not detract from it and try and lift everyone else up around me and show how good you guys can all be. And Fable started right before Haley and I got married and right after COVID-19 lockdowns. And it was an enormous time of change in me and Haley's life. It was probably the biggest time of change we ever had. And Fable SMP was the catalyst for so many conversations Haley and I had. Conversations about how we can be financially stable when we want to pursue our hobbies and our jobs outside of engineering. How we can stay connected when Fable and so many projects are taking up our time. And how we can redefine our relationship, which started between a man and a woman and developed into a relationship between a man and a non-binary person, and how we can keep our love and grow it even stronger. And it just taught me how much that I love my wife in whatever form they choose to have. And that's all I have.
Well, shit, Daniel. I don't have a partner to like be sappy about. God damn it.
No, follow that up, Beck.
Once again,
Go on.
God fucking damn it. Fuck. How do we follow that up? You know what? I'm gonna go with something I haven't told anybody in this cast, and only Oshi knows about this. But I met Oshi through TikTok, and I knew Oshi when Oshi started on Fable SMP, and I admittedly did not know a ton about it because I was in college and didn't have time to do a deep dive into y'all's lore as much as I wanted to. And I wasn't streaming or anything. I was just, my content creation was making my silly little jokes on silly little TikTok. And I'd done content creation before and I always loved it, but I was kind of stuck in a place where I was constantly being like, you know that feeling you get into when you're like, I'll do that tomorrow. And then you just keep getting stuck saying that over and over and over again. But, yeah, so I was friends with Oshi, and Oshi was telling me everything about Fable, and they came to me once, and we were talking about Fable and how much, like, Oshi really loved being in content creation. And she looked at me, and she said, would you want to be in Fable? Because we've been talking about potentially adding new people, and I think you would be really good. And I told her no. Because I didn't think anyone would want me in a cast because I had a decent audience on TikTok, but I wasn't a streamer, and I was a writer, but I know I'm a good writer. I do. But I didn't think I would be wanted. So when she asked me, we're thinking about asking people to join Fable, I told her, you don't have to put me in there. You don't have to, because I know people, because I'm not a streamer, and if they don't want me, I would understand that. And then and they just went, okay, and didn't bring it up again. And then I got a fucking DM from SherberQuake56, and you can ask my roommates at the time. I spent a good 2 hours before I responded to that DM because I was screaming and shaking and freaking out because someone wanted me. And that's not something that I am used to. I'm very used to being told that I'm annoying, or to be quieter, or I'm not used to people wanting me. So the fact that I have so much to thank for Oshi for fucking ignoring me when I said don't put me in there.
Ignore your friends, put them in.
Ignore your friends.
That's the lesson you can take from this, guys.
Yeah, the lesson you can take from my story: fucking ignore your friends.
Put them
in. But yeah, so the fact that someone wanted me in the first place was a big thing, and I still struggled with it a lot through Fable. I struggled with like asking people if they wanted to do lore because I was so afraid of stepping on people's toes and being where I wasn't wanted. But every time I asked, I always got such enthusiastic yeses, and people who wanted to like hang out with me and write silly stories with me, and it's done a lot for me and my self-esteem to try, and the fans too did that, where, like I said earlier, I was so worried that like I was just gonna be, oh, that's a season 3 person, you can push them aside, and they're not big and important to the overall story, but like you guys made me feel really important, and that's not something that a lot of people have done. And this is the first time I've been getting emotional since the ending, actually. And the other thing that I wanted to say is that like I haven't cried over the ending of Fable, because to me Fable has ended, and that's very important, because it's very important to have where a story ends is just as important as where it begins, and a lot of people forget about that. But Fable may have ended, but I haven't cried over it ending because it's not over, is the thing. Like, as long as people still love it and people want to stick around and write your fanfics and draw your fan art and like even make your silly little jokes, and it's not over. And this thing that we made has so many people that care about it, and I really love that I got to be a part of something that people cared about, but I also have so much to thank because you made me remember that there are people who will care about me. And that is something that I struggle with remembering a lot of the times. And I'm gonna turn my mic off so before I start openly sobbing on this call.
Schubert, before you get sappy, Art, you need to put your cat ears back on.
God fucking damn it.
I threw them.
You know what? I'm gonna say everyone who wants to take off their cat ears now can. Take off your cat ears.
Strong.
I'll hold them.
Daniel's gonna keep those goddamn bears.
He's got them on for everyone.
And I've turned off the cat redeem for the last bit.
Not enough meow meows, okay?
Because it's time for the final.
Oh my god. Okay.
Hey Pookie, it's your turn.
Hi. Oh my goodness.
It's you.
It is me. I know I'm gonna sob, so I'm gonna try and keep my best for as long as I can. Fable has been such a journey for every single person who has been a part of it. No matter how small a person's part in it, like if it's an artist we commissioned, if it's someone we asked to voice a character, every single person that's been involved has added something so special to this server. And the thing I want to do is, I have such distinct memories. My memory is insane. And I have really vivid memories of what was going on when each person joined. And like, it started from the thing that Mambu talked about in her Tumblr post, which is a beautiful post. Go read it. Haley, Centros, and I and Mambu were standing in Centros's old apartment. And I knew I wanted to start a server, and I knew that no matter what, I wanted the four of us in it. I had no idea who I was going to ask other than the three of them. But the three of them staying all the way to the end, like the people that this started with, it's so, and it's become such a big part of all four of our lives and like our futures, both like as friends and as creators and just as people. And we had no idea what it was going to turn into. I'm so thankful. And then I realized that I might need more than 4 people for a server. And Jamie and Swip, you guys were easy because like we'd been talking in the Team Rocket server, and Jamie, I knew I wanted to add because you were like the first person that like I admired on the internet, and I was like, I want you to be there. And Swip, what you bring to everything you do in your amazing writing and storytelling, and also how silly you are. You started as an oak log. Day one, you were in the skin of a full oak log, and you were like, I think I want my character to be a log. And I was like, yes, let's work with it. Let's do it. And like that turned into like your ominous Bane name. And like when you were developing Easton, it changed like with you, and that was really sick. And Athena, we brought you in to make the Pantheon, and I remember that stream where we were like, not the stream, just the call, where Haley and I were like, here's this mess of a document of what we have written, and we know we need gods, and you want to make them, and we info dumped like everything we had, but you put like faces to it, you put depth and flavor into so many of the NPCs, and we're such a big part of like that first development. And hey, I couldn't have done this without you. I couldn't have done it without any of you. But there's a reason that like the first 4 months of the server there was like no lore, even though we really wanted to. And you had such a big part in planning everything, and I genuinely don't think I could have done it. My procrastination skills are through the roof. And when we went to you and we were like, do you want to be this character? We have this character written to be Icarus's foil, and this character you put together is perfect for that. Do you want to do that? And we did not know who else to ask. Like, if you said no, I did not know what I was gonna do. But you did so much for this server and for this community, and I can't thank you enough for how much you pulled my little mess together. And then we asked Ghosty, and it was odd because we were already like going, and I was like, I don't know if we can add people like in the middle of this, like we're already going. But we did, and he showed that there was like more in the world, like being connected to Lady of the World. And our season 1 was so silly. But some of the best like raw conversations happened then. And then we were going into season 2, and we were like, we need more people. And I have a very hard time making friends, like real genuine friends. It's really, really hard for me. And I remember Hey and I were messing around on Craft, and we were talking to Meta, and I remember whispering Hey in game, yo, can we put Meta on Fable? I think Meta would go so hard on Fable. And Oshi had such a good community, and when we thought of like the Lady of the Sea, we were like, oh my god, we got to get this in here. And we were like, Mambu, do you want a sister? You didn't ask for this, but does this sound sick to you? And Ven, you DM'd me on TikTok, and I thought I was so lucky that you messaged me. I never thought that, like, because I freaking loved your TikTok, and I remember I was you were on like the server you were on before Fable, and it was like 2 a.m. for me, and you went live, and I was like, oh man, Australian time zones, and I sat through like your whole stream at 2 a.m. And shortly after that was when you messaged me, and I was like, oh my god, yes, absolutely, get in here. And Art, same thing. I thought you were so much cooler than me. Like I followed you, and you followed me back for FNAF, and when you poked me about like doing Minecraft, I was like, I didn't know you would want to do that. What the heck? Yes. And it took 3 days, because that's how long it takes for me to even get anywhere with any message. And I saw what you had as like Wolf's character, and I was like, do you want to stick this man and put him in love with the real moon? It was like one TikTok, and you were like, I love the moon, and I was like, we could make a god for you. We want to make a god, dude. Get in here. In season 3, Beck, you were funny because we had like the list of people we wanted to add. And then we were sitting there and we were like, who else do we want? And I'm pretty sure Hey messaged me and was like, but what about Possibly Awesome? And I was like, they're in. It was no hesitation. Like, I had a list of like, here are people we could ask. And then I thought of you, and I was like, no, that's not even a question. Yeah, clickety click. Connor, you were already a part of Fable. And Hey was like, all right, can we get this guy like for real? Can we get this guy for real, for real? And I was like, you right. And we weren't friends on Discord. So, hey, I had to message you. I'd be like, can you accept Sherbert's friend request? And he was like, oh, hey. And I was like, do you want to, like, join Fable for real?
I forgot that I got, like, 4 ominous messages from 4 different people that were all like, you should accept Sherbert's friend request.
This guy knows too much. Get him in here. He knows
We were
too
like,
much.
hey Connor, we have to make Sherbert message you. Like, that's part of the ritual. So can you just really quick accept their message?
It's like the Fable SMP Secret Service, like ushering him off.
Sir, you gotta do this thing, please.
I can't
just realized
formally
Jamie
invite
said
you
something.
until you...
I just realized Jamie said something and I muted.
Oh no, you're good. I was like, I remember messaging, like working myself up to message her to be like, give Connor a player character, and you were like, it's already done.
I'm waiting for him to accept my friend request.
Can you also tell Connor to accept my friend request, please? We've sent 4 people.
And then Addie was another one of the ones where I was like, I was so surprised that like they were interested in joining, and I love that little guy. Even though they got to like take a little step back, he's such a fun little character. And Daniel, oh, we didn't know who we wanted Fable to be, and like I've said this to you like 3 times since the finale, but I couldn't have done it with anyone other than you. I don't think I could deal with somebody that I didn't know yelling at me and being my toxic father. And like we got to be like friends. Like I've hung out with you so much. Like
You slept on our couch.
I slept on your couch, dude. And oh man, like we have been through so many like ups and downs of this server, and all of the people who are here and stuck through it, thank you for putting up with my silly little server that I did not know what it was gonna be, because collaborative storytelling, man, there's really something to say about that. Like me, who was not confident in my own like art and storytelling skills, and I don't think there was like ever an idea that somebody pitched that I was like, I don't like that. Like every single person brought so much with all of their characters, and it turned into this amazing, well-developed, like luscious world of lore where like we can still dive into like some of the people. Like we were in season 3 and we're like, oh my god, I just realized that this other civilization should exist, and we got to dive into that like crazy world building. Like people could run Fable world as a D&D campaign easy. It's like you could set Fable as like a real campaign, and it has the same level of detail as like a source book. And that is insane that it has evolved into that. And that's because everybody took their little bit and developed it as much as they did. And like, I don't have other friends than you guys. Like genuinely, like I've never had good like IRL friends other than Haley, Centros, and Mambu. Like that was my circle, and I said, I'm taking you with me. I'm taking you with me on this journey, or you're coming. And like, I'm so bad at like talking to people and getting to be friends with people. And like, all of you guys, like no matter how much like we've talked, are my closest friends. And I've gotten to meet so many of you and do so many amazing things with all of you, things I never thought that I'd be able to do, and that is because of this beautiful project that we can put all of our names on and carry with us for the rest of our lives and impact all of the people who got to watch it. There will be people years from now telling their friends, oh yeah, I used to watch this server and it had really cool lore. Like for some people in the community, like this is your first fandom. This is going to be like the marker of like your journey on the internet, which is such a big part of everybody's lives. And we did that. We got to bring so many issues and our own personal struggles into this for people to relate to and learn from, because we've learned so much from each other and how to collaborate. And I genuinely don't think I could have done it with anybody else. Every single person needed to be here for what it is. So thank you to all of you and all of the fans for turning this into something that is going to be such a big part of me for the whole rest of my life.
Why did you do that to me?
How dare you?
My makeup was holding up so well.
Okay. So, everybody. Jesus Christ, I need to stop looping Infinite Amethyst anymore. Okay. All right.
I'm literally looping Infinite
That's a
Amethyst.
danger.
Oh.
I looped that to write final dialogue.
You'll never believe this, but I am also looping Infinite Amethyst.
Okay.
I had
Everybody.
to do silence, or else that would be too much.
Thank you so much for everything. For answering all our silly questions, for asking all the silly questions. I know a lot of us, we're still sticking around. We're on Tumblr. Well, I know a lot of us even answer questions on Tumblr.
You can't get me out of that Tumblr tag.
You can't drag
You can't get me out of there if you grab me by the ankles and dragged me.
Hit me up. Hit us up.
Sometimes I
Hit
see
us up on
things, I swear.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're gonna we still have the fan server up, and it will stay up. All that jazz, and to round us out for the night after crying and talking for 3 hours, I have a surprise.
You do.
You do.
I have an entire CMV that I filmed yesterday. That is a band AU.
Y'all are gonna go feral.
That
I love banding.
I'm gonna drop right now. Because I wanted to. Because I love all the AUs that you guys do and have so much fun. So I made a little mini CMV out of an AU because fuck it, it's fun. And before we go though, I will say, it's not the only CMV that is coming out in the future. We have many bits. We have if you haven't heard, we have already announced that the full cast, like CMV that we're doing together, is gonna be How Far We've Come by Matchbox 20.
We are doing
I'm gonna
an
cry when I
edit
film
CMV,
that.
just
Yes.
like
And ordering cosplay things right now.
Yeah. So that is gonna be working on. It will probably be a little bit, but we're gonna be working on it. Tomorrow we have survival games. I'm super freaking pumped. It will
Now
be
that
very
we've cried,
fun.
let's kill each other.
Now let's murder each other. Let's
Murder each other
fucking
for
go.
sport.
Oh,
No more tears. Time for stabbing.
and I think it will be fantastic. So, also, as a fun little bit, because I got permission from Sherbert today, sometime this week I'm gonna be doing a world tour. So we will show off the world sometime this week, okay? So I know people have been asking for it, so teehee. With that,
But yeah, chat. This is something that I said in a chat message on Sherbert's stream, but I wanted to say it again so that everybody could hear it. The streams for Fable may be done, but we're not. We're still going. We are all still hyperfixated and way too into our own characters. Like, you guys think that you're obsessed with Fable? We're obsessed with Fable. Okay? So yeah, it's not over. Just because the streams are done doesn't mean that we are. So,
It's just
And
like
we've
any
all-
fandom, any other story, and then
Yeah.
you continue in the fandom and you still talk about it a bajillion years later.
And most of us, I think, are doing other projects too. If you want more
Oh,
block
yeah.
men,
Yeah.
we all have so many block men.
men. In so many places.
So many
block men.
places.
Oh,
Ven's
There's
story
birds.
isn't completely finished, so I guess we'll look for that, but I don't want to spoil it too
there's
much.
snippets of things.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
little bits
It
of
will be
things
good.
everywhere.
People are on SMPs. People are starting up new stuff. There's lots of stuff going on. You aren't gonna lose us completely just because we're done streaming Fable.
Zoom in on that.
Yes!
The chat that cannot read.
This
There
is
might
no,
be
no.
a CMV.
Please,
In
Trevor
the
zoomed in
future.
on it. Oh my
Yes!
Instead of peaches, we're getting orchids that Daniel has fully rewritten and is learning
Yes!
the piano for.
That's-
Oh, I thought you'd forgotten about that. Hell yeah!
No,
That's
he's
the
been
announcement.
practicing.
Oh, amazing.
Announcement.
Good.
That's it.
Yes.
Everybody else go
Oh.
home. That is the announcement.
That's all we got.
Holy
can't
shit.
wait.
Okay.
What a
Sherbert,
win.
do you have anything else before I go instant premiere the CMV?
Go sicko mode, dude. I'm gonna go say goodbye.
I'm gonna go. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye, but my
Send him over, yeah.
Zoom
I'm
is
sending my guys
broken.
over.
My Zoom is broken, so I'm staying
Click
here.
on your, click on your face.
Just look
Oh,
at
yeah,
my
that's
face.
nice.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I.
That's
I've been
Hey, you're
Fun
so
fact,
smart.
I've been
There you
zooming
go.
in on people when they're talking, like the whole
Oh wow,
stream.
you're so smart.
spotlighting them.
I'm a
Yeah.
student. Okay, I'm gonna
Alright,
go
I'll
say
see
bye to
you
my
in a
chat.
moment. Goodbye,
chat.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.